kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they've got the wrong guy there.
The wrong guy. The dog was
Boy, do I have a case for you
He's
today.
roughing him up quite a bit.
Why is the dog chewing?
There's a lawsuit.
I think I need a redo. I completely butchered the intro there, so I'm gonna start it over, and we're gonna try that one more time. We're gonna pretend the first one didn't happen. Give me just a second here. Ready? We'll pretend I didn't say anything. Oh, volume's up. It's all good now. Let's see. Here we go.
Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they've got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He's roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
Wasn't that a lot better? Didn't that just feel smoother? Yeah, I completely butchered the first one. Take two. We're back. Lunch is over here. Well, lunch is over for you guys, but I still have my sandwich. I will tell you, it got very, very busy over lunch, and not in a true crime sort of way. Double the intro, double the views. That's exactly the formula, Matthew, that I was going for with that. It is a good intro, though. I do like it. All right, so here we go. Still no camera from courtroom yet. We're still waiting for that. Let's see, chat. Oh, you just turned on the Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate that. With that, I think it's important to say that that Fractured 23 comes out with an oh hi, and with that has purchased with that comment being first in chat the internet for the rest of the day. So Fractured, you've done this before. You know the drill. The internet is now yours. Congratulations and our condolences. But please keep it running for us. Make sure there's no buffering, all that stuff. We'll all be happy. So thank you very much for that. It looks like we're getting a little bit of movement in the courtroom, so people are coming back. But and the lights never went off today. Previously, the lights did go off on the in the courtroom. I guess they're not doing that today. Let's see. Let's check the feed. Looking good. Looking good. The two feeds don't sync up perfectly. It's like their frame rates are off a little bit, and so occasionally over time we lose sync. But we'll get it fixed. We'll get it lined up here. But that's what we're waiting for. So Fractured's here. Golden Mom is here. Hey, good to have you. Golden Mom says, got to have the pickles. I do have pickles on this. Michelle dodged the internet ownership once again. Good job, Michelle.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Yes, and we're going to turn off the sound bites when the testimony starts. So get your triggers in now. Christy, good afternoon. Thanks for being back. Miss Priss,
I'm not
Kevin.
a camel.
I'm not a camel. I'm not a camel. Katrina, hey, good to have you. Let's see. Opening statements took about 35 minutes. I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat. I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor. I'm not a cat. Rowdy says, please hit the like button as we're waiting for our seats. Yes. And if you'd like, the share button works well too. We're all friends here, but we could use some more. I'm holding everyone accountable for my damaged tongue. Y'all didn't tell me the maple bourbon pickles were hot. Oh no, Mac. Perfect timing on the laugh. I'm sorry. They do say spicy. That's part of the spicy part of the spicy maple bourbon pickles. They are a little toasty, but you might have to consult with Matthew Harris to see if you have a class action lawsuit against us. You may have some rights that you'd like to discuss with a lawyer. Mystic Magnolia says, hey, Recovery Addict mods and chat. I'm new here again. I tried joining y'all for my first live stream during the Judge Doro court a few days ago. The internet was wonky. Trying again. Mystic Magnolia, it's good to have you here. Welcome back. Mac, for sale. Almost full jar of pickles. Mac, not a fan. Not a fan of the spicy maple bourbons. I do apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your taste buds are broken, Mac. They're so good. They are so good. I love them. I'm sorry you didn't like them. I would not recommend them unless I thought they were good. I'm still going to stand by my opinion, but I understand. I understand that not everyone has to have my opinion for me to be right. Oh, let's see. No backseas, says Rowdy. You know, you bought them, you have to eat them. D.A. Vel, pickle juice. It is delicious. Good to have you here, D.A. Weather Watch is here. Katrina, Red Pen. I'm back in the front row for part 2. We're getting set. Looks like the judge is just maneuvering. We might get some hot mic moments here, so if it starts, we'll be quiet, and then I'll immediately kill all those audio triggers. Let's see. Katrina says, crap timing, y'all. I have to go back to work. Oh, well, put us on in the background. We'll promise not to play the cat sounds too loud and distract your clients. Ginger's ready for part 2. Squirrel. You should hide a pickle in each thumbnail you create. Oh man, there's a great idea, Weather Watch. Although in this one, I mean, honestly, if I put a pickle on this thumbnail, y'all would be thinking that it meant something it didn't. Right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys would think that I'm trying to slide something in there that maybe is not, maybe a little double entendre. Speaking of French, right? Welcome, Eminem, MCAT. Good to have you here. That is a brilliant idea, though. I might go with that. Whoever finds first gets to wear the pickle hat for the rest of the day. These are great ideas. Sharon, good to have you. Norma, round 2. You ready for that? Eileen, Ritz, Mac, Rose, Susie. I'm mixing up names here, so you almost became Rosie. Ritz and Susie mixed together. Treva, at work, I missed some spice. A little bit. You missed a little bit of, I would say, some excitement with defense. And we're hoping to get just a little more clarification. Hopefully the judge addresses it a bit before the jury comes back in. But the defense had some things to say. They weren't happy that they did not get to question Mr. Klug about prior acts. Well, they didn't get to question him because way back in 2016, there was a pretrial hearing about this, and it was brought up. And even, 806.09, I forget what the statute is. Even under that statute, it was ruled that they were not allowed to bring this up, these prior acts. And they tried. They went there. They tried to open that door, and the judge closed it pretty fast and hard on them. And here we go. Sunshine Sunflowers is here. DMB, Red Pen, Irene, Angie, Michelle Stark, Denise Feldman, Ersland. Did I say that right, Denise? I usually don't say your last name. It's just Denise for me. We're on a first name basis. P. Cooper is here. MB says, hi, everyone. Hope everyone's happy and has a full bellies. I'm mostly full. I also ran to the post office. But the post office has not yet figured out how to put mail into my P.O. box. So I'm sure you guys got everything right on your end, but it's not showing up quite yet. Melina's here. Good to have you here. Karina.
Why the retrial?
Why the retrial? Great question. First of all, let me see who asked that. Barb Murray, why the retrial? The first trial, he was found guilty. He was found guilty of murdering his wife, and he's serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. But he appealed, saying that some of the evidence used against him during that first trial should not have been admitted, and the appeals court agreed with him and told the state, you either need to let him out of jail or you need to retry him. And they said, we'll retry him, and that's what they're doing here. The evidence that they admitted was the letter from his wife that she wrote just a week or two before she died, saying that if I die, under weird circumstances, it's my husband. It's that guy right there, him. Yeah, that's the letter they say should not be admitted because it was admitted as evidence that he has the right to question his accusers. And he, for some reason, she did not show up for court for questioning. Yeah, it seems bizarre. She didn't show up because, arguably he killed her. In that court case, it was determined that he did. But because of that, the letter's not going to be allowed or should not be allowed as evidence. It might come in another way. It may come in, and we'll see. But it might be not for the truth of the matter asserted. We'll see what happens. So what happened? Anyway, I went to and tried to get mail, and I didn't get any. And then I got on the call with, of all people, the city planner in the break. And that's why my sandwich is sitting here going warm and dry. And I have not finished my lunch. But Found out some good information from the city planner. That's always good. And so we'll try to work on that front as well. Abe, thank you. I answered your call on the burner phone. I accidentally turned off the do not disturb. And right when Abe was calling to leave his voicemail, which I have not heard yet, Abe. I have not listened to it yet, but I hear it's great because you told me it was going to be great. Let's see. Jones's, welcome. Good to have you here. Heather Barnett, thank you for being here as well. You guys are all early. Wonderful. Appreciate it. CG in Texas. Matthew Harris Laws here, our resident attorney. On a Globe, Karina, Susan McElroy. Melina Munford is here. Victoria S. I should probably read these names with like a different voice. Shells has taken her seat. Rockin' Granny has entered the courthouse. Mary Kay, welcome. Ginger Meadows, let's go, boys and girls. D&B Secondus. A little bit. Ritz. MB. Susan McElroy. I think I'm going over the same names again. We can't do sad music for the start. Hello, Kitty says hi, welcome back. Danny Austin is here. Quite ironic that I had a 1974 Jensen whose engine died because of lack of antifreeze. Danny, that's too many coincidences. I would buy a lottery ticket or something if I were you at this point. A little bit. Golden Mom is here. Did you receive the time zone map? I did, Debbie. Thank you very much. It's a little small, but it helped educate me a little bit. So thank you very much. Not sure how good the quality was on the video, but I sent you where you can find better copies elsewhere if you need to on Spicy. Okay, I will look on that after. I was just a little busy on lunch break. There was a lot happening. What brand are those pickles, and can you get them in the UK? P. Cooper, you can get them, but they might cost you a little bit. They're produced by Walmart. At least they're packaged under Walmart's brand name. It's a Sam's Choice, which is Walmart's own brand, and they're spicy maple bourbon pickles. I know you can get some spicy bourbon pickles, and you can get some maple bourbon, but I'm not sure if you can get spicy maple bourbon pickles anywhere else. These are the only ones I've found. And Matthew steps in, as always, to throw me under the bus. If you've been injured by a spicy pickle, you may be entitled to spicy memes as compensation. The judge is here. We're not getting any audio. We're listening. The audio is actually live from the courtroom right now. So when we hear something from the courtroom, you'll hear it right over there. They'll just interrupt me. Kathy, good to have you back as well. AJ, Georgia. Let's see. I did not think that through very well for this trial. Jay Breezy 81. Thank you for admitting to being an addict. We all are as well. Welcome. Once you join, you can never leave. But thanks for subscribing. You are now one of us. Good afternoon, Tracy. Malapropist. Please do slide the pickle into the thumbnails. I will try this. And I see what you're doing there. A pickle is a pickle is a pickle unless it's an eggplant. Right. I will not put eggplants on any of these thumbnails. I promise. Laura, Ann, Egads. I like that. Let's see. Did we get everyone red pen? I got you a little earlier. Michelle Stark, Pete Stone. I'm finally going to try the maple bourbon pickles tonight. My wife is picking me up a jar when she gets off work. Okay. Let me just tell you, Pete. Throw them in the fridge. Give it an hour. I know it's going to, it's killing you to try. You want to, as soon as you get them, just pop them open and chug the jar. I would, personally. But throw them in the fridge. They get so much better when they're chilled. SB, I wonder if Walmart wonders why the sudden run on pickles. SB, I have reached out to Walmart. I cross my heart. I have reached out to Walmart on multiple platforms and tried to contact them and said, I just want you to know that I know that you've seen a sudden increase in the sales of spicy maple bourbon pickles. And I'm here to own up and let you know that it's my fault. And will you please sponsor the show? And so far, nothing, just crickets on their end. Love the spicy maple bourbon pickles, but actually more of a pickled jalapeno fan. So you like more heat, Irene. It's not hot enough for you. Nothing wrong with that. Sassy girl, put your boxing gloves on. We're about to get started. I can see the judge moving around on the bench here. Let me take his camera just so you can see him as well. Let's do this one instead. That's better. Not a Drama Llama is back and in her seat. Is it her? I think it's her seat. It's her seat. I'm going with her. Linda Hill says, yo. Right back at you, Linda. Let's see. Sunshine Sunflowers. Carly, 196. Hello. Hello to you as well. Laura. Now it just jumped. So everybody that was between Laura, CP, and Linda Hill's last comment, I just missed. Don't touch your eyes after the pickles. Or are they jalapenos or habaneros? The habaneros are definitely a no-go on the eyes afterwards. Save the sad music for those who are late. Yes. Now, if you haven't had your name called yet, you're late. Danny Austin, welcome. Wombat Wombi's here, doing well. Okay, say that fast 3 times. Which one was I supposed to say fast 3 times? I have a hard time saying one thing fast one time. You're going to fall asleep if you play the lullaby. I'll turn it off for now. It should be after lunch where we should all be energized. I'm going to probably turn my camera off as I try to fit this massive sandwich. I sliced the pickles a little thick. I showed you that Mrs. R.A., she bought the gallon jar of whole pickles, and I sliced them just a little bit thick, so it's going to be a bit of a mouth aerobatics type thing to fit the sandwich in my mouth here. And I don't want you guys to have to see that, so I might turn the camera off just for a bit while I do the bites and the chewing part. Jay Breezy says, thank you, the man. Thank you for being here, Jay Breezy. High Speed Drifter will be lurking. That's all right. There's some lurkers out there, and that is okay. Michelle Johnson is ready. Laura K. Ritz. Lindsay Hendricks. I think we got everybody. Jonathan, Utah Recovery Act Davenport says, I'm here, slumping down in the back row, just hiding. For those who are slumping on the back row and want the opportunity to maybe move up to the front row, at the top of your screen on the right-hand side, if you're on a PC, there should be a little picture of a gift right next to, let's see whose face this is, Fractured 23. Fractured 23's icon is there. If you click on that gift on the top of your screen, there may be a little drop-down box that shows you that you can accept gifts on this channel. It's a setting you have to turn on in some cases, which will make you eligible for the rain shower of gifts, which tends to come with being here in this channel. And I cannot thank all of you enough. Your support of this channel it means the world to me. It's and Mrs. RA as well. I just want to pass that on from the whole RA family. Your support of the channel it touches my heart. It's exciting that this can continue. We can keep doing what we're doing. But Fractured 23, in addition to owning the internet, then gives out memberships to the channel as well. And it looks like Lisa, Heather Barnett, Jen Hoff, Ann Schatcher, and my mind boggles who are all gifted memberships. And just in time, too, because court is about in session. Mr. Jensen's walking in all blinged up. He's got the same jewelry on again, which the bailiff has a problem with and takes it every time he wears it. Doesn't stop him from doing it, though. So the jewelry is going to go away because that cannot be shown to the jury.
Are we going to adjust subject matter jurisdiction?
I need to turn those off. That's what I need to do. So let's do a quick mute of that. Shrink this. Okay, we're going to turn off. Refresh. You guys are trying to get your last chat in. I know. I'm trying to beat you to it. Cat, camel. Oh, cat, camel, squirrel, and cackle. Did I get them all? We're done. Perfect timing. The mic's on.
Just turn the chair around.
Fractured just did another 5. I'm not sure what just happened. Fractured just sent another 5 gifts. Thank you so much. Let's see if I can see who got the second round. I'm not sure if we have any non-members in chat anymore. You guys are just look at this. Jared T, Treva Vigil, Jonathan, Utah Recovery Addict Davenport. You just barely talked about sitting in the back row, but sit in the back row no longer. You now have a reserved seat at the front of the room. Lexi and Gonzala Castel, all gifted memberships thanks to Fractured 23. Thank you so much. I think I called you Fractured 25.
2002 CF 314. It is Friday afternoon at 1:20.
Hang on. What's happening here?
We're going to continue with the state's case in chief, and for the benefit of the jury, what are we going to watch this afternoon, Ms. McNeil?
How about that?
Judge, this is State's Exhibit 15, and it is for the unavailable witness, Officer Ronald Cosman.
And for the record, that is Cosman is Kosman.
This is not exciting news.
And you also indicated off the record you're going to pause through the video to show exhibits that had been filed, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so just let us know when you want to do that. With that, let's start the video.
Okay, I'm going to...
It will be.
I didn't hear you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it will.
Please be seated.
Audio's a little bit off here. This looks like a completely different video.
Please state your name and spell your first and last name.
Ronald B. Cosman, R-O-N-A-L-D. Last name is spelled K-O-S-M-A-N.
And Mr. Cosman, by whom are you employed?
By the Village of Pleasant Grove.
Thank you for the membership.
In what capacity?
As a patrol officer.
How long have you been employed as a Village of Pleasant
Paying
Grove
to watch
patrol
you eat your
officer?
large pickle
22
sandwich.
years.
Were you employed as a Pleasant Grove
Jared T,
patrol
thank you so much
officer,
for the super chat.
in late November
I appreciate that
1998?
support. And Angie wants me to watch me eat.
Was there a time that you went
I'm
on
not sure
a
if I can do that, Em.
charity
I'm
trip?
sorry.
Yes, there was.
And when was that?
Would have been the weekend before Thanksgiving of November of '98.
At least this wasn't stamped
When you
48
returned
hours
from
on the top.
from your hunting trip, did you discover that you had any voicemail messages for you at the police department?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about those voicemail messages.
Give
There
me
was
just
a
second.
message from
We're going to
Julie Jensen.
fix that timing because that's driving me nuts.
So when you got that message, do you remember what day it was that you got that message?
Would have been the 24th of November.
What did you do when you got that message?
I immediately went to our chief of police and to Sergeant Rasberg and explained the situation. And I then contacted Julie.
Okay, I think that's on
Tell
now.
us about the contact that you had with Julie.
I gave her a call and she asked if I could stop over after 10 o'clock. She wanted to talk to me. She sounded confused, a little afraid. And
Now, you were familiar
Yes.
with Julie Jensen's voice?
yes, I was.
Yes,
So you
TW, that's
knew
right.
Julie Jensen as of this time.
Yes, I did.
And how was it that you come to know her as of that time?
Throughout the years, I had approximately 40 to 50 contacts with Julie Jensen.
And what were the 40 or 50 contacts you had with Julie Jensen concerning?
And Judge...
The majority of them...
Excuse me. I have an objection that I've previously placed on the record. If the court would like me to further state the grounds, I'm happy.
Necessary. It's the objection's overruled.
That means you can answer the question, officer.
The majority of contacts I had with Julie Jensen were for harassing phone calls or other strange incidents occurring around the home.
What kind of strange
Excuse me just a moment. Do you want a special?
Not at this moment. No.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. What sort of unusual circumstances were you describing besides the harassing phone calls?
Pornographic pictures being left around the residence.
It's getting spicy already.
So as of November 24th, you were familiar with Julie Jensen's voice?
That is correct.
So
Look at
then
that
you went to
tie.
see her?
That's fantastic.
Yes, I did. When I called her, she asked if I could stop over after 10 o'clock.
So after this phone conversation that you had with Julie Jensen, what happened next?
I then drove over to their residence, and I met with Julie Jensen at that point.
And about what time was it, if you can recall, that you met with her?
I want to say it would be shortly after 10 o'clock, probably within 10:15 or 10:30.
And this was on what date?
November 24th.
So you spent a fair amount of time with her that day?
That's correct.
Did she ever get you the film?
Yes, she did.
So you waited there while she went and got the film?
We went outside, and she went to the neighbor's house to get the roll of film, and I stayed in the front yard.
How many rolls of film did you get?
I believe it was one roll.
And so she brought back the roll of film, and then what was the understanding between the two of you as to what was going to happen next?
I told Mrs. Jensen that I would take the roll of film and we'd get it developed. And I also explained to her that if at any point in time she felt any fear of staying there, to contact the police department immediately, or if there was some other place that she could stay. I offered to try to get her some help for Women's Horizons. or if there was a relative or someone else in the area, if she felt compelled that something was going to happen, to please take that course of action.
And that seemed like pretty good advice to you?
At that particular time, yes.
What did you do with the film?
I took it down and had the roll of film developed.
And then what did you do after you'd had the roll of film developed?
After I picked up the pictures from being developed, I brought them back in, and I viewed them at that point with Sergeant Ransford.
When did that occur?
Would have been, I believe, might have been the same day, or it might have been the 25th, I'm not sure. I don't recall the exact date.
And well, when you and Sergeant Ratsburg looked at the photos, did you see anything there that would cause you to believe that Mr. Jensen was trying to kill his wife?
At that particular point, I didn't. I don't. I'd have to review the pictures again at this particular point, but there's really nothing that sticks out in my mind.
Okay. Well, when we find those photographs, we'll show it to you. But tell me this. Nothing leapt out at you at that point when you looked at those photographs?
I'm sorry?
Nothing leapt out at you when you looked at those photographs?
Just the list, you'll recall those being written down on his day planner being photographed.
You remember about how many photos there were?
I would say probably 20 to 24. There may have been more, I don't recall.
Now, after you and Sergeant Ratsburg reviewed those photos, did either you or to your knowledge, Sergeant Ratsburg, ever take those photos back to Julie Jensen and indicate your thoughts on them?
I did not. After we had viewed them, I entered them into evidence, and I did not have any other dealings with Julie Jensen after that conversation on the 24th.
You know, there was a Mr. Voigt that thought there was a squad car that stopped in front of the house after those photos had been turned over to you. That wasn't your squad car?
Objection to any suggestion that there was a squad car. He doesn't know there's a squad car. Either he was there or he wasn't there.
Well, I think he's testing his memory. The objections overruled.
I don't recall going back to Julie Jensen's after I had the roll of film developed.
So you don't recall telling Julie about your findings with respect to those photographs?
No. At that point, a lot more of my time was being spent. I was a court officer as well at that point, and a lot of my time was being taken up in court. That's when Detective Ratsburg did more of the investigative portion of it.
Well, at some point after these photos had been turned over to you, you heard that Julie Jensen was found dead.
That is correct.
And were you at the scene that day?
No, I was not.
When did you find out that Julie Jensen had died?
Because of my past dealings with her, I was notified sometime that afternoon after 3 o'clock. My shift had ended. I was home for a little while, and I received a call from our chief at that point advising me that Julie Jensen had passed away.
And did you consult with anybody else in the police department on that same day or not?
That same day?
Yes.
No. I just asked our chief if he wanted me to come to the scene, and he said no, that we had adequate personnel there at that point.
We're going to get back to those photos in a minute because they're being marked as an exhibit, but let's talk about some other photos. You'd indicated that in the years preceding Julie's death, you'd responded to that residence on numerous occasions because of harassing contact and photographs and so forth.
Pornographic photos that were being left around the residence.
Do you know when that, of course, when When was it that Julie Jensen started first complaining about this course of conduct?
I'm back. Thank you.
I believe it would have been right around the same time I had the first contact with her, about 94, 95 in that area. About 94, late 93 and in 1994.
And so back in 94, 93, 95, whenever this was that this first started, what was the complaint at that time?
Her complaint was that she felt that someone maybe being too close to the home, that they were leaving those types of photographs there, and she was starting to feel very uneasy. She did state, however, that most of the time that photos were found, Mark Jensen had usually found the photographs and found them outside the residence.
So she was telling you that Mark Jensen was finding these photographs?
Yes.
Well, he stated most of the time.
Most of them. Okay, she found some of them too?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And did they produce those photographs to you?
I'm sorry?
Did they show you these photographs?
Yes.
Tell the jury what kind of photographs were being left around the house.
They were pornographic photographs of men and women involved in various sexual acts, including oral sex and the ejaculation of a male onto a female's face.
When you talk about oral sex, you're talking predominantly cunnilingus or fellatio, or both?
Both.
Now I wish I hadn't just ate.
Did any of the women that were depicted in these photographs bear any resemblance to Julie Jensen?
At one point.
Now, how many times do you recall responding to the Jensen residence over the years preceding Julie's death?
How did I leave pickles off that list? Yes, pickles.
Photographs.
But it was a pickle sandwich with those condiments as well.
On a rough estimate, I would say probably 30.
So maybe once a month or so?
Sometime.
That's not once a month.
It doesn't, it's not clear that it is. Although the witness can answer, and I did, apparently, so I suppose that it's really not something that I would sustain an objection.
There were times that it would go maybe 4 or 5 months without any kind of contact with either Mark Jensen or Julie Jensen. And then it would seem that the annoying phone calls and the pornographic pictures would start appearing again.
Did you ever propose to Julie Jensen, or make
and it's
Julie
gone.
Jensen as to what she could do to assist the law enforcement in conducting an investigation into these matters?
I advised her that we could start putting a trace on the phone, and I also advised her at that point to start keeping notes, a little notebook concerning dates and times of phone calls.
The photos were not of
Do you have any
her,
recollection,
but they may have been someone who looked similar to her.
About how many photographs you recovered from the Jensen residence during the course of this multi-year series of complaints?
I would have to give you a rough estimate, and I would say probably between 50 and 60 photographs.
And I show you this photograph that is marked as Exhibit S-197.
Well, Judge, I renew my objection to S-197.
There's, on the limine?
In limine and the general subject matter under 90404 sub 2 and 90403 and 90402.
Overruled.
And due process.
Overruled.
Anything else?
So I
Hearsay?
show this photo that's marked as states Exhibit S-197. And I ask you if you can identify that photograph.
This was a photograph that Julie Jensen had given me.
Okay, be careful.
I believe it would have been in August of '98.
Okay.
Is there a note on the back of that photograph?
Yes, there is.
And whose handwriting is that note?
It is Julie Jensen's handwriting.
And what does it say?
It says found 7/3/95 in truck.
And so, Judge, this would be the first exhibit that I'm showing.
Right, go ahead.
Oh, great. We're going to take this shot for just a minute. Because, okay, they went there. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Everybody just got demonetized on YouTube. I am so glad we cut. So let's see what other trials are available today. Because if they're stopping and showing the exhibits here, I can't risk losing my channel to that. That just made
You might want to,
Young
for the
Thug.
record, say what exhibit that number was in that trial.
Young Thug
So what
had nothing
exhibit
there.
number was that?
Judge, that is State Exhibit 197
All right,
in
do that for each one, because obviously the people above us higher in the higher
Bleach,
courts,
yes.
that will assist them.
Iowa Family Murder Trial. We're gonna pull this one up real quick. Let me.
And did she indicate to you when she turned over this photograph to you that who found it in the truck?
She
There was
stated
no-
Mark, and there were also some other pornographic pictures, which were not the only photograph that is in color is the one that you just showed me. All the rest appeared to be either Xerox copies or something made off like a copy machine.
So this was the only photograph that you recovered in that
Okay, so-
multi-year period?
There were others that were recovered into evidence.
Yeah. No,
But
long crime's not okay. YouTube does not allow
Apparently
that.
our
That's
chief,
direct violation of YouTube's terms. There's
whoever
no,
was the
there's no way.
custodian of
Not just demonetized. They
evidence
can
at
lose
that
channel.
point, I believe had.
I'm surprised they haven't pulled their
advised them to get
feeds
rid of
already.
But in terms of,
I want to be clear on
They
that.
did show something. I cut away because they
This
said
one
they were
is
going to
the
show
only
it,
one of
and
all of
I'm
the
so glad I
photographs
did.
Which you had received over the years that was in color,
That is correct.
and those that were destroyed then were all black and white.
We can
That's
stay with the
correct.
vocals if
Go
that
ahead.
works.
and were they on photographic paper, or were they just, did it appear that they'd been Xeroxed out of a photocopier?
It seemed to be off a photocopier with regular paper. That's the only one that had any kind of color boarding or anything written on the back.
And this is a photograph of an apparently nude woman whose face is right immediately over a man's erect penis.
That is correct.
Now, those other photos that were photocopies, or the other
Oh, my
photocopies
goodness.
of photos, did they depict similar things, or it was a wide variety of pornographic poses?
It was kind of a wide variety. On some there was writing and others there were not.
What kind of writing, if you can recall?
There were writings that would be on there like, remember when we did it this way? Or is he as big as I am? Things along that nature.
And the photos that would have the language, is he as big as I am, were those photos that depicted
Everything.
a male's
Karina, I saw everything.
a penis?
Yes, it did.
Now, initially, when you commenced this investigation, did Julie Jensen indicate to you whether she had any suspects in mind for this behavior?
On the very first complaint, she felt it may have been.
I don't
man
know
that she used
where
to
this
work with, as she had
where
to
this
read
ties in
before.
as far as
Do you remember
his
what that
intent.
person's name was?
Perry.
We believe he had a
That's
mistress
correct.
and he wanted to get rid of his wife. And this was something that would show up
So,
that would
in the
make her
course of-
angry.
were you the only
And he may have been trying to
plenary
get back at her
officer
for an
investigating
affair
this
she
course
had
of,
7 years
conduct,
before.
coercive conduct?
The first time I had met with Julie Jensen, she asked if she could contact me if she had any similar problems that would occur. She had some complaints in the past, and different officers would come to take the report. And she said she was just very embarrassed that she would have to keep repeating to different officers that she had an affair
So she only wanted to deal with you?
with one officer, and
Thanks, Coffee Mom.
at that particular point when I went there, that's how it evolved.
So when there was a complaint from the Jensen household, the first choice would be to call you there?
She would call the police department and ask if I could stop by.
And then you'd come out there and you'd hear about the complaint.
I'm sorry?
And then you'd come out there and you'd hear from Julie about the complained behavior.
That is correct.
Right. I don't think we need to see any of those pictures.
Over the course of time, did you...
There's no evidence that it was
investigative
anyone
techniques in order to
involved in this
ascertain the
case
identity
that was
of
in the
person
images,
causing
only
this
that they were
problem?
showing up.
Yes, we did. I asked. We had set up a couple of different phone traces.
Yep.
Well, what was the purpose? Tell the jury what you're talking about when you put it. Was it trap and trace? Is that what you put on the phone?
Yep.
It was a trace through Ameritech. You can call an 800 number and advise them that you are having prank phone calls. And it had been reported to the police department. She was then instructed to give the Ameritech, the phone company, a case number or event number that she had contacted.
Yeah, it is on Law and Crime. It is
And
on
then
Court
they would
TV.
put a
Those
trace
feeds
on
have
the
not
line
been
so
taken
that
down
they
yet
would
because they're
record
still
any
broadcasting
incoming
that
calls to
feed.
residence.
I will say it's
Now,
not a question of
how
just
many times do you
demonetized.
recall, over the years
That
having a
happens.
trap and
This
trace?
is
Did that system
there's a
you just
line that
described
YouTube
put
does
in
not
place?
cross, and this crossed that line.
There's never a trap and trace.
Well, whatever you just described.
So
That one was
it's a
in
risk. I'm
93.
surprised they haven't
Were
pulled
there any
this.
others
They may
after
they may
93?
pull this
Yes.
and make two separate videos and cut this
how
part
many
out.
times do you recall requesting of Julie Jensen that she institute this procedure of placing this trace system on the phones?
4 times, including, that would be starting with the first one in 93.
And each of those 4 times, when the trace was installed or the system was installed, what happened with respect to the harassing phone calls?
I would stop by and check with Julie Jensen to see if she had received any phone calls, and she had advised me that the calls had stopped.
Each and every time?
Correct.
Now, around the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th time, did you become suspicious that the person who was making the harassing phone calls was getting tipped off?
Objection to relevance.
Okay, I'm gonna take the screen
After
back.
the second time, Julie made a statement to me that this person always seems to be one step ahead of us.
I'm just gonna be ready
She
to cut
felt
away.
that it was still very possible it may have been Perry Tarika that had been making the phone calls.
And he's the guy
But
that she had an affair with.
At that particular point, also realized that after the second time, the calls did stop, which didn't make a lot of sense to me at that particular point because someone would have to know that there was a trace on the line and to stop calling.
After the second time, where this trace was put on, and there were no harassing phone calls, what did you begin to suspect?
I became very
I'm ready to
suspicious
cut away.
that
Yeah.
it would have to be someone who was aware that the traces were being put on the line. At that particular time,
Yep.
there were only 3 people that knew the traces were being put on the phone.
Well, how do you know the people that knew about this trace? To your knowledge, who told you about who knew about the trace?
Okay, I have to.
I had to advise Julie Jensen to
I'm going to turn it
give
down
that
just
case
for a
number
minute.
to
So
put
talking about the
on
trace.
that she was
The
going
point is that Mark knew about the trace. Every time they put a trace on the phone, the calls didn't happen, and Mark was the only other person who knew about it. That's what they're getting at. I just want to tell you that the moment that that showed on the screen, and I had cut away before then, we lost almost 75 viewers on the channel. So 75 of you immediately clicked off and went somewhere else, and they have not come back quite yet. I think they're still scrolling, trying to find the right moment to pause on Court TV. But we lost a bunch of you. I'm so glad that 240 or so of you stayed.
Specifically tell about the trace.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear the question.
When you asked her for this 3rd time to institute a phone trace system, did you give her any advice as to who she should specifically not tell about the trace?
Wait for it, says I came back.
It was either the 3rd or the 4th, and I asked her if she would not tell anyone, including Mark, that this be just between her and I. I explained to her at that particular point my concerns that Mark may be making the phone calls, she did not feel that Mark would do that. And I told her at that particular point, without having Mark having any knowledge that Trace being on there, if the calls stopped again, then we definitely had some other problem. But at that particular point, my suspicion was it was Mark making the calls, and I told Julie I wanted to rule Mark out as a suspect at that point.
I think when we left off, you were talking about trying to figure out a way to rule out Mark Jensen as a suspect in this case, correct?
That is correct.
And by this case, I'm talking about the harassing calls, or in the photographs being left around. And so, what did you say to Julie in order to alert her to the means by which you could rule out Mark Jensen as a person that you suspect of putting these, making these phone calls, and leaving these photos?
Julie didn't think that Mark would be the one that would be making the phone calls at that particular point. And I advised her that it seemed that someone unknown how would come up with the information that a trace was being put on the phones, and the calls would mysteriously stop. At which point I asked her if she would keep a secret with me, and it would just be her and I that would know about this particular trace. And at that point, if it was Mark that was making the phone calls, we would find that out. It would be a civil action at that point. If she didn't want to pursue it, it would not be pursued criminally. And at that particular point, she agreed to the trace.
And she agreed to not tell Mark about the trace?
That is correct.
It seems people are all coming back. We're all good.
Yes, we did.
And did the harassing phone calls continue?
Can we get a date for any of these traces, please?
Well, let's talk about this trace where you'd asked Julie to not tell Mark about it. Do you remember about when that trace occurred?
I believe it would have been either late 95 or 96.
As you're sitting here now today, do you remember if that was the third time the trace was put on or the fourth time the trace was put on?
Would have been the last time would have been the fourth time.
Okay, so this is the fourth time.
Okay, so what happened here, and the reason we had the problem is we're watching a video from the previous trial. This officer's not available for testifying. So we're watching the video. It's admitted. It's admissible because he gets cross-examined in the original trial.
Just not to tell him.
And during the original trial, they showed a picture that was actually a photograph that was in a Ziploc bag. The officer holds it, he identifies it, they hand it back to him. Nothing's shown on the video that we were watching. Then, in present day, prosecution presents the video in a digital format, which goes right onto the live stream. And we get in full color the image that the officer was looking at.
Then it would lead me in a new direction
and that
for the investigation.
So you put
there's
the
somebody's
trace
cell phone
on
again.
for the fourth time?
That violates YouTube's terms of service. So I cannot show that on my channel. That's not what you guys come here for.
3 or 4 days.
There are other places if you want that, and it's not here.
Julie Jensen.
So I'm glad I cut away, but I cut away before they showed it. But the other channels did air it. WISN, TMJ4, I believe Law and Crime did. I'm not sure. I wasn't looking at Law and Crime at the moment, but Court TV.
And what did she say?
Yeah, I can't risk my channel for that.
And what did you say?
Judging by her demeanor, she would not look me in the eye. She was looking down.
Because
and I asked her at that point if she had told Mark.
They have a record of everything. This is all saved on YouTube side for my channel.
And she said she had.
I want you to try to remember the precise language that you used when you asked Julie about this. How did you say it to her?
I asked her if she told Mark. And she said yes, she had. And I believe I made a comment at that point of, Julie, why did you do that? And kind of in a disgusted language. And apparently I was a little loud because I do recall one of the children being asleep inside the home and woke up. So I may have been a little boisterous at that point.
So you were upset with her?
Absolutely.
And did she offer you an explanation as to why she told Mark?
She did not want to keep any more secrets from him. She felt bad because she had the affair, she kept that a secret, and she wanted to keep no more secrets from Mark whatsoever.
Matthew, thank you for that.
So after that, you never put any more traces on the phone call, did you?
No, we did not.
Now, tell us about the location of some of these photos, as you recall. Over the years, did these photos show up in just one place, or were there a variety of places where the photos were allegedly popping up?
Judge, if we could have some specifics as to times and places.
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't hear.
That's for cross.
So that means you can answer the question, officer.
She said basically that, again, Mark had been the one finding most of the pictures. They would either be left outside the house, near the front area, the front door, by the bushes, around the garage, on the deck, and near the pool, and also somewhat by a little storage shed that they had as well. And she did tell me at one time that Mark had found some pornographic pictures in a boat that was parked inside the garage.
Did she ever describe an incident where she found the pornographic photos?
No.
Well, did she ever tell you that she found the pornographic photos, or did she always say that it was Mark that had found them? Or don't
She always, most of the time, she said that Mark had found the photos. Other times, photos were found, at which point I did not ask who
Is
found
that bugging
them.
you
I
as
just
well?
assumed that Mark had.
Now, during the course of this investigation, early on, Julie had indicated that she suspected Puerto correct?
That is correct.
Did you ever talk to Mark Jensen during the course of this investigation?
About the allegations, no.
Did Julie ever describe to you Mark's claims that he had received some of these photos at work?
Phone calls and photographs at work.
Red Pen, it's actually quite difficult and expensive to have
in which
a
these
delay.
photographs were allegedly received at work.
It's some pretty expensive software or hardware. So you need a beefed up computer, which I don't have, or some hardware to do it.
I'm going to show you a series of photos, and for the record, they're marked.
We're not going to see them.
States exhibit S196. I'm sorry, S173 through S196. Have you seen these, counsel?
They're marked. Are these in order?
They're in reverse order.
So they're talking about all this, all the images that were showing up, which apparently only Mark found. Pornographic images were left around the house, outside, in the boat, mostly outside by the front door, things like that. We're waiting until they're done here. I think the prosecution is showing them to the defense. They said, "Have you seen these?" And they're sharing the pictures, I guess. We're not going to show anything. I learned my lesson with the little snafu that happened on Young Thug, so. Sorry, Little Miss. I didn't realize your comment was on the screen. We don't know. These are just images.
Counsel's comparing the photographs to his photographs. They're
pictures of the
I'll ask you some
decedent
more
or the
questions.
defendant.
Aside from proposing this trace to capture the find out where the phone calls were coming from, did you ever suggest any other alternative investigative ploys or techniques that Julie or Mark Jensen might resort to in order to find out who's leaving the photographs around?
The placement of a camcorder at his place of employment.
Did you give him any advice as to where to place the camcorder?
I advised him to park in his normal location, and if he could find a spot inside the building where he could record his vehicle, to record the vehicle, and at any point, if you were to find any photographs when he came back out after work or his lunch break, to call me immediately.
And do you know, to your knowledge, did they
We've
ever
got
do
Sarah
that?
Boone next week.
Did they place any video cameras either in their child's bedroom or in some vicinity to Mark Jensen's truck at work?
I offered him the use of a camera, and he, at that point, said that he had a camera that he could use.
So you did talk to Mark Jensen at that point?
At that point, yes, I did.
And when you were talking with Mark Jensen at that point, did he offer you any descriptions of his understanding of what was taking place at work with respect to these photographs or harassing phone calls?
At first, he said that the camcorder could be put in a conference room, or it could be aimed out a window and he could be able to record his truck. He then advised me that that would not work because the conference room was used by all the associates. And he didn't want to explain to all the associates that his wife had had an affair, and that's why he was recording his truck at that point.
Did you ever learn from Mark or Julie Jensen as to whether or not they ever put a camcorder anywhere to try to catch the person or persons that were allegedly leaving these photographs around?
I was advised that the camera had been used.
Who advised you that?
Julie Jensen.
Did she tell you if they found anything?
She said they had not.
Did she tell you who placed the camera?
She said that Mark had.
Hey, Myra, we had an incident where Young Thug's Zoom in the courtroom was hacked, and somebody played an inappropriate video on it that was visible from the vantage point of our feed. And we immediately took down that video. I deleted it, even though it was, a lot of people didn't even notice what was going on there. It's not what I want on my channel.
Did Julie ever indicate to you what Mark was saying about these harassing phone calls, what he would say to her about these harassing phone calls, or what he would say to her about these photos that were being allegedly left around the house?
He just was angry that she had the affair and basically blamed her for all the problems.
And how was Julie reacting to this accusation that all of these things were taking place because of that affair she'd had so many years ago?
I was taking emotional strain on her and her marriage.
So I think what they're trying to get at is that he wanted her to divorce him. He wanted her to leave. But at the same time, we know that he didn't want to have any alimony or child support situation as well.
Now, Officer Cosman, I'm going to ask you we're going to go through these photos one by one. In fact, I wonder if I can display them up here with this magical machine over here.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. I might have to switch to this right here.
There we go.
There we go. High Speed Drifter says, do you have a self-destruct button in case something shows up? No, I don't. I've got a switcher that I can control.
Officer Cosman, I guess before I put him on the machine there, I'll have you identify these photographs. Let's start with Exhibit S173 and these through S196. Just flip through those photos if you would, please.
See, the first part is going to be the courts on video presenting the pictures. It's sort of like it's like Inception here, right? Because you've got two things happening, one before the other. So we're hearing the audio of them presenting the images in physical copy to the officer who's testifying.
Don't push the wrong button. Yeah.
And then in the present day court, they will submit those same images as evidence. So we're cutting away for that because we don't know exactly how that's going to be presented, and it was done poorly last time, so you get to see me instead. But that's all right. Yeah.
And I just want you to go through them and see if are those the photos that you developed off the film that was provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
There are very interesting aspects of this trial that are not related to the current topic of discussion. mainly that this is a retrial, that this is an appeal. How many times do you see somebody who gets convicted, sentenced to life in prison, win an appeal and get a whole new court? But that's what's happening here. So we like it for that reason. Obviously, we're not here for the spicy bits, although we like a little action as far as the back and forth argument.
So at this point, I'm pausing the video, and I will be showing what has been marked, that was previously marked as States Exhibit 173.
So they're going to do some videos over on their side. Pretty sure all the other channels will probably not show anything and look at the wall. So, or look at Mark Jensen, I think is the case. I make a correction. The picture actually shows the
Can the jury see
list.
I'm going to try to get the view so it's
Okay,
most
this
centered.
is the list. Give me just 1 second. We're going to show just this list. You see that? That's the list that she had in the notebook. Aspirin, razor blades, shells, syringe.
Is that better for the jury? Can you see it? All right, they answered yes.
Cut away here. I don't know what she's going to go to next. Thank you, Myra. Hey, you know, I love what I'm doing. I love this. I know there are things I could push the envelope and get a lot of views. That's not what I'm about. I like that I can do this channel and be who I am, and not have to dabble in stuff that I don't want to get into. You know, I think we're better than that. I'm not trying to judge somebody and say, you know, they're wrong for liking something or being willing to view that. That's on them. But as far as I go, I want to have a channel.
I showed you this item that has been marked as States Exhibit 173, and is that a photograph? One of the photographs that was recovered when you developed the film that Julie Jensen provided to you?
That is correct.
You know what that what does it say? N?
It may be NJ.
Okay.
It's hard to make on.
And then read the rest of it.
Aspirin, bottled booze, razor blades. Not sure what the other word is. Librium.
Librium?
Librium, shells. DeFazio, Terry, patches, shells, syringe, bag handles.
Bag handles. Okay. And
okay, so
you when you examine that list, were you able to fathom any significance to the things on that list?
Not really, with the exception of maybe the syringe. It doesn't seem to be an item that a lot of people would use.
Bag
or
handles?
that and the second one, Nicotrol and the Librium as well.
Directing your attention to States Exhibit 174.
I'm gun shy.
So I'm pausing it again and showing States Exhibit 174.
We'll see what it is. I just want to, I'll preface it and make sure it's not anything inappropriate. Yeah, this is why it's important I'm not a camel. Had I had to take a break at that time, all the cameras are now playing it safe in the courtroom. We're gonna show this one because it's
Does the jury have a chance to see that one? Can you see it? We're good?
It's more from the notebook here.
Right.
I'll try to blow it up a little bit.
We're not good now. All right.
Low tolerance, funky, neck. I can't even read what this is saying here. Pen, sweat, thinking, money, second rate, 2 prior. I can't read this very well. How something, everything that he wants, obviously successful and big something. I'm not sure. They cut away. These are supposed to be notes that these are the notes that Julie found.
This also is a photograph that was developed from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
That's correct.
And can you read what that says here? Let's see if I can. Can you read what that says?
Appears that it says low tolerance, maybe funky, neck. I'm not sure what the other one, funly or something along that line. 2 prior weekend.
It says funky, 2 prior weekend?
Does not mean anything to me.
Okay, doesn't mean anything to you. And then underneath that, what does it say?
I'm sorry?
Underneath funky, 2 prior weekend, what does it say under that?
Which one are you referring to?
Okay, what's beneath the 3rd line? In other words, what's in the 4th line there?
Second rate is what it says to me.
Is it funly, 2 prior weekend?
And then next
funky?
line.
Is that funky?
It may be funky.
Second rate,
And then under
pen,
that?
sweat, thinking.
Pen, sweet, 63102.
Well, underneath funky, 2 prior weekend, what does that say? Right here.
Second
rate?
Yes.
I believe it does say that.
And then beneath that?
It appears to say pen, sweet.
And then underneath that?
Thinking.
And underneath that?
I'm not sure what that word is.
And underneath that is $sign?
Is underneath, whatever that word is a symbol used for money.
And then underneath that, what does it say?
A symbol used for money.
Muthus? And I can't read what the second one is. Envious of me or envy of me?
Can we just have Mark read this? It would be a lot easier.
Maybe new.
Well, under that, does it say has everything that he wants?
Obviously
everything that he wants.
And underneath that?
Big grandeur?
Obviously.
Big provider or something? Manager?
I'm not sure what that word would be.
Obviously successful,
have
big producer.
Okay, successful, big producer, manager.
Put together, big producer, that's good.
I can read that and move that up a little bit to make it easier to read. Let's see.
It'll look
Is that
easy.
easier to read then, officer, if I do that for you?
Yeah,
Because I'm looking down here and I'm thinking, gee, it's easier for me to read. I can't give you, I need to pull it up there for you.
Yeah, bite me. You missed a little bit of craziness.
And then what does it say under the word obviously?
It's a lot of leading the witness.
Manager, have own branches you put together, make and all look easy.
You guys are doing a better job in chat.
And boys,
describing this.
With the line under that appears to be oils, PDE, NE, the initial DD, initial HI, with a star next to the initials MCD at 6'5", and the star again with the initials MCK.
So you can read all these.
And that didn't mean anything to you, did it?
Judge, this would be improper opinion testimony from this witness.
If he knows he can answer.
Okay. In your estimation, did this information, what was depicted here, did you see how it was relevant to Julie's concerns?
Some of it, yes.
Okay, tell us what you thought was relevant to Julie's concerns.
Object, this is improper opinion, Judge.
No, he's not asking, he's asking about his historical opinion as opposed to what he now thinks. And as to
these are
what
supposed to be
his reaction
notes from
was
Mark's
to having seen this
little daytimer.
I don't think if at the time his opinion would have been admissible or relevant.
I think overall.
So at the time you looked at this, did you see anything here that you thought might be relevant to Julie Jensen's concerns?
Maybe the envious of me.
This is what you're seeing right now
obviously
is a video
successful
from the
big
first
producer,
trial.
Along with
This
the,
particular witness is not available, and so they're allowing
put it all together and make
the
it look
video
easy.
of his first testimony in the first
Oils
trial to be admitted
and
as
what
testimony
the
in this
envious of
trial.
me have stood for.
Now, directing your attention
We're going to cut away just for a second.
States Exhibit 175.
So I'm pausing it again and displaying States Exhibit 175.
DA has apparently always had that same look. Was this the first trial? Okay, we're actually good. It's actually a notebook, so I can show this. Looks like a Franklin Day Planner type thing. A calendar type. Is that lipstick? What is that? What is the red?
And now resuming the video.
Yeah, it's rough. The hum in the background sounds like Morse code.
175 depicts a States Exhibit 175 depicts another photograph that was contained in the film that Julie Jensen gave to you, correct?
Correct.
And I would say you probably can't read those, so I'm going to try and get a little bit closer to it.
It's just overexposed in the top left corner. There's not much to see there.
First of all, looking at this looks like a calendar page, correct?
That is correct.
From November of '98.
That is correct.
Well, let's put it that way then. Is there anything about Exhibit 175 that really stood out to you, or to your knowledge, Detective Ratsburg?
Not really.
Directing your attention to States Exhibit 176.
I will now display States Exhibit 176.
Okay. And this one's safe as well, so I can show that one. Here you go, Jen. All right. Let's see what we got here. No foundation to ref. Manipulation, doesn't want to be there. Idolized him. Drinking and sex. Doesn't trust him. Belittle. Abusive. Passive aggressive and minimize. Did I do okay on that one, DMB? Yes. I was opening that jar, that same bottle of olive oil for
And that's another photo that you recovered from.
And I heard that. I'm like, oh, great.
Julie Jensen's film, or the film of Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
That is better handwriting on that page.
I can arrange this, it can be red. It seems like the light is. We should turn the light off. Let's see. That make it easier to.
Lamp off.
Can you perhaps move the focus? Move the focus.
Maybe focus it.
Make it smaller.
Make it small.
Zoom out.
No, it doesn't help.
Not a bad idea.
I imagine that they're like, we have all this technology in the courtroom and we can't get it to work.
I will
This
just
overhead
exactly
projector.
like that. Can you read what that says?
No foundation to maybe relevance, manipulation, doesn't want to be there, idolized him, drinking and sex, doesn't trust him, belittle, abusive, passive aggressive, and minimize.
And you didn't have any idea what that was referenced to?
At that particular point, I thought it may be kind of
a list of some sort, but why?
Comparing the good side to a bad side.
Directing your attention to States Exhibit 177.
I will now display States Exhibit 177.
This is fun. And this one's good as well. I think we might be through those pictures. Looks like this is Saturday, the 24th of October, 1998, Daily Record of Events. And I was right. It was a Franklin Day Planner. You see the logo there at the top with Ben Franklin's logo.
And now resuming the video.
I will say I recognized it from the hole punches.
Back up so that you can see the photograph. That, again, is a photograph that you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
And the only thing there says October 1998, Daily Record of Events, and time 8, it appears to be a time, 8:40. Is there anything else on there that was of any significance to you?
No.
I'm not sure if there was a syringe that was actually used in her death.
Directing your attention to Exhibit 178.
Or if there is even one that was actually purchased.
I will now display States Exhibit 178.
This one's good as well. The problem is she's really fast. This is Friday the 23rd of October. It looks like it says 12:30.
And now resuming the video.
Again, that's a photograph that you recovered from.
It's good. We're all right. I've got the technology to do this without too much hassle.
It shows the date of Friday, October 23rd, and the time 12:30.
That's correct.
Yeah, there was nothing there that would link up this particular photo or the thing that's depicted in that photo to Julie Jensen's suspicions, as near as you could tell, wasn't it?
Yes, that's an overhead projector.
There was nothing at that point.
And then directing your attention to the States Exhibit 179.
And here we go again.
All
the channels blacked out the video.
This is a photo that you recovered from the film from Julie Jensen.
This one's good as well.
And it depicts the date of Tuesday, October 20th.
Can we show 179?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
I will now display on the screen States Exhibit 179.
I believe it's just that paper, that same one they just showed. Just being cautious here. Because we got burned last time. It's the 20th of October. What are you seeing here? 754. Maximum
and now resuming
blur.
the video.
And again, there's just a daily record of events and a time.
7:54.
And you don't know the significance of that.
Oh, Little Miss, you might be right.
I did not notice.
There may have been a syringe that she found. I don't recall if she found that it was the word syringe or if she actually found the syringe.
I will now display States Exhibit 180.
If she clicks on the wrong thing, because she has a list, there's like a Windows File Explorer, and it's just image numbers on a list of them. She clicks on the wrong thing, we get another one of the first images up. Everyone's in a world of hurt. Audible commands are muted during the trial. They are, just so we don't cover up the testimony. This was a little harder to read. I just want to make sure, did something just show up that shouldn't have? What's happening, I think, is that the computer that's being used to show these, they're keeping all the images open so that when you mouse over the icon for the program, you get a little mini picture of all the pictures that have been pulled up. And I did not see it or not, I did not see it, but nothing showed up bad. Okay, thank you, little miss. I was worried that maybe the first image might have shown up in small on the screen. There's not much to read here. Call made, call mall. This is like just regular notes. I don't see anything on here. I'm with the officer on this one. I don't think there's anything that's really standing out as evidence that would be bad. Like I don't see anything on here that's suspicious. Could be Matt with crossed out T's. Make food. Something Marriott. Wedding was erased. Scrolling across looks like SIA on a few days in a row there. What does SIA mean? Got an asterisk on the 23rd, 24th. Indy, Deer County. Indy Bar, or I think it was Indy Bar. Regroup on the 27th, in pen, circled. ID LY Bar, Idley Bar, Deer County, Indy. These is alibis, you're saying, to CG? Let's start the video up again.
And now resuming the video.
Thank you.
I
don't think you really used that
pages out of a calendar.
Daytimer to its full extent.
Correct.
From October 1998. Can you read the date there? Can you read that?
October 13th.
And the other.
But that's the October of 1998.
And let's see.
So
are we just getting this as background?
You don't have any idea what
we
SIA
want to see what
means?
happens in November.
On the 21st, I believe the initials are SIA, and underneath it is written dinner.
Search for incredible attorneys, SIA.
27th being circled with the word regroup.
And you didn't know what that meant either, did you?
No, I did not.
And then first there's a star.
Look at the
correct.
You didn't know
Mark's
what that
attorney
meant?
in the video.
No, I do not.
He's got his head in his hands.
Second,
Matthew
there's a
Harris.
star with the word Appleton underneath it. You didn't know what that meant?
At that point, I was assuming that the stars meant that you would be in Appleton at that time.
So then on October 8th, well, I can't read that from here. Let's see. The word, what did I do?
I believe it was Scott.
What did I do here? What did I do? Oh, I guess I can. What did I do now?
Now you've done it.
Oh, I guess so. They shouldn't give me this machine, should they? Just the word Scott. Correct?
Correct.
And then on the 9th,
Mariella
and then
Dawn.
then the word dawn.
Dawn.
D-A-U-N.
Dawn.
And
This is his day planner.
Then the 10th. Says,
Call them all.
She found it and thought these things were suspicious, took pictures of them, sent them to this police officer. He developed the film. He's looking at it. He's like, I see nothing.
Mike, Fred, for Marriott, right?
Correct.
It's like a stock trader, right? DMB? Or maybe management in a stock trading company.
And then 17th, wedding call FGHT. You don't, that's what that says?
Here's what it says.
22nd, SIA, correct?
Correct.
And the 23rd, let's see, 22nd says SIA, there's no asterisk or star above it. 23rd,
you have to watch all the videos over there,
SIA.
Debbie. Every single one. Comment on all of them and like them.
Correct.
Just kidding.
24th, there's a star and
Good
SIA.
stuff.
Correct?
Correct.
Then the 29th, IDLYBAR. You know what that means?
No.
30th,
Door County.
Door County. 31st, Indy.
Correct.
And you know what any of that meant?
No, I didn't.
That was S-180.
Judge, I object to continuing questions about whether he knows what it meant. Overruled.
Now, directing your attention to S-181.
Probably
I will
the
now
next month.
display S-181.
We'll just hold tight here for a second. As soon as it's good, we'll put it on the screen, and it is. I think we're basically laying the groundwork, or what they're trying to do, for how he normally used his day planner, and then we're going to compare that to how he used the day planner around the time of her death. So this is a 2-page, for those of you that haven't used a Franklin day planner, it's a 2-page calendar, so left and right page together make up the whole month. So the first week goes across the top row of both pages. Blueprint. See, that was where he was down at the conference, right? With Mr. Klug, and Mr. Klug was drinking watered down beers or something, and they were having all that fun talk. Next week, see, it's Remembrance Day in Canada on the 11th. I don't think it's the airport because he had it like 5 days in a row, or 3 or 4 days in a row. Not sure what that would have meant. We know Blueprint. That was the name of the conference that he went to with Klug. What you're watching right now is the current time, the current attorney display these pictures. This is the best way they're able to share these with the jury. School conference at 5:15. This guy didn't have very many appointments. I'm sure that rank has its privileges when you're a manager, but so had some dinner there. Appointment at 11, Scott, dinner. SHW. Yeah, I paused the wrong one, trying to line up the audio here. close. Or not perfect, but it's close.
And now resuming the video.
Okay.
S21 is another photograph of another that was
I don't know, I'll have to look at
film
that.
Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
I know
November
the
2nd, the word Brookfield appears.
Correct.
the icons change color over time. The courthouse icon.
And on the 8th, there's an asterisk.
The attorney's
and
falling asleep.
The time 3:55 is noted, correct?
Correct.
And on the 9th, it says Cosney 1. And then what's that underneath? There's Storberg 4.
Correct.
That's what this says. On the 18th, school conference 5:15, correct?
Correct.
On the 23rd, it says dinner May. What is this? What are the words after dinner? Let me see.
No vising. No vising in the courtroom.
Is it MNY or something?
Could be M and Y.
24th, the word is that session?
Session. Correct.
And then on the 5th, Thursday the 5th, there's an asterisk, blueprint MGA, is that?
High Speed Drifter, welcome. Thanks for
MGR,
becoming a member of the gallery.
1:30 and 9:30, correct?
Correct.
That was a pretty bad cough.
And on the 6th, there's an asterisk, blueprint.
Correct.
On the 7th, an asterisk, blueprint.
Correct.
So I could, if I was an attorney, I could sleep through the boring parts of trial and it would be okay.
And then the
I
12th.
might change my careers, Matthew. That sounds tempting. MB Cemetery.
DNVR and
The courthouse turns purple. That's the
session?
last thing it turns into.
Correct.
It's purple.
13th, an asterisk.
Correct.
14th, an asterisk, and the letters PGNT.
Correct.
This is the weird part, and we go from 100 miles an hour to incredibly slow very quickly in this trial. Unfortunately, the 100 miles an hour is in the wrong direction, and it leaves us all scrambling.
19th. I'm not doing that. I think the machine's doing that.
High Speed Drifter, yes, I mentioned that you joined. I'll put it up on screen again. There you are, new member. Welcome to the gallery. Appreciate you joining. Thank you so much.
APPT 11, and then it says Scott underneath that, correct?
Correct.
21st, SHW.
Correct.
27th,
Not sure what the SIA meant.
looks like the word poor, doesn't it?
Pool?
Yeah, I don't know. So,
That's not poor.
I can't make a note.
Matthew's laughing. He's showing his lawyer.
on the 28th,
That's what it
It
says.
says dog 1050, and then laser, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we are getting somewhere. The next month is the month that she died, right? So we're just comparing how he's used his journal thus far with what happens around her death. Stranded in Austin, that's a good one.
Then on the
PLLC, that's right.
26th, it's printed the word Thanksgiving underneath there, correct?
That is correct.
Sounds good.
On the 27th, the word poor appears, correct? Is it poor or pool? Can't make
Might be pool. Maybe an L at the end or a C.
Pool. Okay. And then on the 28th, oh, dog, 10:50:11. Okay. So that was the.
Yes, Banjo, you're right. Original trial judge was from the Rittenhouse trial as well.
Recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
I think this might be a good spot to stop for a break.
All right.
And then we both.
We're going to stop it then. Folks, please don't talk about the case. We'll take a good 10 minutes, okay? No problem.
All right. Even Mark was a little tired from that. Let's see, it might be SIA, Syringe and Attic. Who else had? Security Industry Association, based in Silver Spring, Maryland, is a U.S. trade association founded in 1969 to represent global security solutions providers. Possibility. Go pick up your son flying in from OKC. Had a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth. Have a great pickle afternoon. I think I did get a picture. I'm not sure if that was Weatherwatch or Matthew Harris. Who sent me the picture with the pickles in it? Hang on. That was Weatherwatch. Some spicy maple bourbon pickles. It looks like a nearly empty jar, I might add. Okay, so we got about a 10-minute break, or we don't, depending on how the case is. This case is just I'm trying to think of what the word is when it has such diametric opposition to itself, moment to moment, where we have at one point just break the internet images, and the next moment we're looking at video of image of looking at somebody's day planner that has nothing on it. It cannot get more boring than that, and they're back to back. I like the Rittenhouse judge. It was a good call on the break. Yeah, you and I both would skip, we would fast forward this, but because it's evidence, they're going to ask for all of it. They can't fast forward in case something gets missed. Okay. Making sure I didn't miss any questions here. That is lawful law. Now, okay, his sons, Georgia, that's what you're talking about. He has two boys, right, and one of them, maybe both, will be testifying in this trial, is what we've heard. It's possible that they are not in the courtroom. It's actually very probable that they're not in the courtroom. If they've invoked the rule that witnesses are not allowed to listen to trial and hear other people's testimony, that's why the witnesses are coming in through the door every time they get called. They're not in the courtroom ready and waiting. That his sons, as potential witnesses, are not allowed to hear what's going on during the trial. So they probably are not hiding embarrassment. They haven't heard what we have heard. And Weatherwatch says it's 100% empty. I can confirm pickles are gone. All right. How long was this first trial? It was a long one. I don't remember the exact time. I know the jury deliberated for 30 hours the first time around. Does he have leg shackles, Carol? Yes, he did. They take off the leg shackles and the handcuffs while he's in the courtroom. They take off both. Rachel, yes, Susan had antifreeze in her system, and so to speak, and had signs of having it had in her system and working its way through. One of the things it does is sort of crystallizes you on the inside. So like her liver would contain these crystals that are indicative of antifreeze poisoning in the 3rd stage. And they did find those. Also, there was a fair amount of antifreeze in her stomach at the time she passed, which might have been ingested more recently. So it's bad. It's a painful way to go. Do I have a merchandise command? I don't. I just have the mug. That's the only one, Debbie, is ! mug. I'm working on that. Once we hit 20,000 subscribers, which might be a while, YouTube has some more features they open up to me that allow me to have merchandise, a little link right on the screen that'll let you click on it and open up a little in the side window. So we've got to share a few times before we get to that point. Why can't MJ read his own planner? He could, but he's in his own defense, he probably doesn't want to. Make him work for it, right? That's the. Let's find the judge's. Here we go.
Make them work for it. By gosh, make them work for it.
That's the sound we want. Unless they're watching this stream. Yeah, they should not be watching the stream. I think they're directed not to follow this on any platform. The meaning of SIA, we've been guessing at this a little bit. Some of you had some very good suggestions. It's not good. Yeah, MB, it is a horrible way to die. It really is. And the defense is basically saying that she did it to frame Mark, and she's tried to kill herself and make it look like he did it. So that's a hard sell for me with such a painful, extended way of dying. Stellar Ingredients autographed. I don't know what SIA means. Matthew Harris wants to play tag. 1, 2, 3, not it. Rittenhouse in that trial. That was a really fun trial. The photographer that testified in the Rittenhouse trial is in this courtroom here with Jensen. He's wearing the red shirt. I think he wore the red shirt yesterday as well. Maybe a different red shirt. Sai is the Australian singer and songwriter, born and raised in Adelaide. She started her career as a singer in the acid jazz band Crisp in the mid-1990s. Is it Sai or SIA? Let's see. Rachel K has the answer. I'm trying to see. You would have to track it. Rachel, what did you say it was? Rachel, I think you got it. Let's see where this is. Susan ingested antifreeze. Oh, wow. Wow. Yes, I think I clicked on that before, but now it's really sinking in. That would have been, I think that would have been too soon. That's like the month too soon. It's possible that he had a very low dose and was experimenting with it. Okay. Yeah, if the A is antifreeze, special investment account. Debbie says, I can't wait, but I will. I can see you soon hitting 20,000, but this trial right here might not help you. Sarah Boone, yes, Sarah Boone will. This trial is painful. It's painful to watch at times, and other times it's riveting. I mean, we've got some amazing sound effects, some sound bites. We've got some great arguing back and forth between the prosecution and the defense, and the prosecution and the judge, and the defense and the judge. We've had all those. Sorry, the shoes had to come off. I have to go barefoot now. So we've had some good moments, but at other times it's been worse than the Pike County trial. Adam, that would be a hard sell because he caused her the pain. Securities Industry Association. That would sort of match up with the appointments and the traveling that it seems to be notated in there. Let's see. Who has the suitcase if playing hide and seek or tag? No suitcases. Sia. Okay. Nana Geek says wouldn't notice the antifreeze. Please don't tell anyone, especially my relatives. I won't. I'll keep it a secret, just you and me, Nana Geek. Susan, yes, started ingesting antifreeze. I don't. Her name was. You're 100% right. Wait for it. Her name was Julie Jensen. 7 different aunties. Is it aunties or aunties? Casey, you're right as well. Her name was Julie, not Susan. I thought Rachel was playing off all the SIA puns. Well, no. Does antifreeze have no taste? How do you get her to drink it? MB, it used to be a sweet taste, and I believe they have bittering agents in it now that make it not nearly as appealing to drink because of how deadly it is. But he could have mixed it in with other things, especially if she was somewhat sedated due to the Benadryl or the sleeping pills or something else. Sam, I am. Second injection antifreeze. It's a lot of second injections, though. Single ingredient. Original jury trial was 32 days and then 30 hours of deliberation. Thank you for that, DH to the JD. Is that what it is? I'm not sure how to read your name properly. We've got 5 weeks slated on this one, so they're going a little longer. Spokane International. I still don't think it's an airport just because it was so many days in a row. I mean, that's a long layover. Ed, I don't know if the officer died. I know one of the individuals who was testifying on video, and he is the third. One of them had passed away, so I'm not sure if it's the husband of the lady. Looks like we're coming back to the court here, maybe. I'm not sure if it's the husband of the lady with the turtleneck we saw yesterday, or if it's this officer. I'm just glad that I think it's only 3 people we get on video, and we should be done with them after today, and then just have live testimony. Those are much more fun for me. Syringe injected. Also, yes, DH to the JD. Okay, sounds good. Sorry I asked. Starfleet Intelligence. I think we're getting closer. Sweetheart ingested antifreeze. Mandy wins with the Starfleet Intelligence Agency, according to on a globe. Spousal Infidelity Association.
Please be seated. All right, we're back on the record on Mark Jensen's file, case 2002 CF 314. We're going to continue with Ron Kosman's video. Anytime you're ready, Ms. McNeil.
And again, this is a photo that you recovered from the film.
And so now I will display State's Exhibit 182.
Okay, here we go on 3. There we go. Got some initials. I'm not sure what those are. Backing up some verses away. Dawn ring. I'm not sure if that's worried. Telling me, don't think it's going to work. Quotes. DME is doing a great job. So still
Now
not
resuming the video.
Not anything that would make me suspicious.
Provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
Let me pause it just for a second here. Trying to get everything up on the same speed here. Apologize.
And does that appear to be OILS, oils?
Correct.
And then underneath that DD?
Correct.
And underneath that MCD?
Correct.
And under that MCK?
Correct.
And under that BT?
Correct.
And
Okay, so once again, we've got just a bunch of initials here.
under that BA?
Correct.
And under that HAL?
Correct.
And underneath that Mystery 1016?
Correct.
And then going to the top again. Let's see if I can.
Okay.
That's backing up VS away.
Correct.
It's like, why do we need an officer
then
on here
the
to try to
word
decipher handwriting?
Dawn, DAUN.
Correct.
Ring.
Correct.
Married, telling me. Worried. I'm sorry, worried. Okay. Thank you, counsel.
Yeah. Appears to
Worried,
be worried.
telling
Correct.
me.
Now defense
Correct.
is telling him what it is. Counsel's like, this is taking too long. We'll just tell you what it
and
is.
then don't think it's going to work.
Correct.
It's up there. And then quotes,
Quotes. Correct.
and that was from October 28th, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so finally we're getting up to November.
And directing, go back again here. Directing your attention to,
So I will now display States Exhibit 183.
Just want to make sure she gets this right. Pop off here until she gets oriented. There we go. Okay, DMB, work your magic here. I-thing, MLK, Med, big questions, and is that big or BD issues? Blueprint. Is this going to work for you? If this is going to work for you. Big questions and big issues. Okay. Jill, these are Mark's notes. These are out of his day planner. His wife, Julie, took these pictures and sent them to
resuming the
police
video.
officer. The officer developed the film
exhibit-
and said, this means nothing.
Exhibit 183. Exhibit 183 is a photo that you recovered from the film that was given to you by Julie Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
And this is for Friday, October 30th, right?
That is correct.
And it reads, I-thing,
Correct.
MCK,
Correct.
MCD,
Correct.
big questions, big issues,
Correct.
blueprint.
Correct.
Is this going to work for you?
Correct.
Then Brookfield and a number, tell us. Correct? And then, what's this? Her.
Correct.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff.
And then directing your attention to States Exhibit 184.
I'm now going to display States Exhibit 184.
This should be the calendar as well. Just one moment here. Looks like it is. Not sure why they didn't just straighten that image, because they could very easily, but didn't miss any aha moments. We were just going through a Mark's Day Planner from 1998, and apparently there's nothing in it. But we're getting closer to the actual date that she died. I think we're about a month away now, so hopefully a little more news soon. DMB's like, I just called the number and they're still around. Appropriate verbiage, door country, wow, dawn, blueprint, Saturday and Sunday, evening, blueprint, LeGrand.
And now returning to the video.
This is another photo that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And this is October 27th, Tuesday.
Correct.
And
don't call that number. They're being flooded with calls right now.
Correct. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And then
thanks, DMB.
PDR, GLM, PE, and is that SL?
Did you say PDR, Mr. Chambers?
I thought it said PDR.
It's like PD.
No.
E.
Maybe
PD. What did I miss? Did I hear it wrong?
Maybe I said PDR. I don't know. I was trying to read it, and I thought it said PDR, so maybe that's what I said.
It doesn't look like PDR to me.
Okay, nope. What is it? Thank you, Judge. I'll try to get it. What does it look like to you?
It may be an E.
PDE, okay. GLM.
Correct.
NE.
Correct.
SL. Or
W?
Well, NE or WE. Looks like one of those things.
I think that's one of its ends.
SL. Does it look like B?
Looks like B.
And then under the word oils, there's DD,
Correct.
HI,
Correct.
MCD, MCK,
Correct.
BT, BA.
Correct.
I think these are people he talked to during the day. The initials of the people he talked to. We're seeing repeats of some of the initials from day to day.
Does it say Daily Pen Shop? Does it look like to you?
Dally?
I'm not sure what the second word is.
And the number underneath it is 414-276-8900.
That is correct.
Underneath that it says LeGrand 185.
Correct.
That's a cost.
Did you find out what that number was for?
Officer Cosman, did you ever find out what that number was for?
No.
Okay.
You never called the number, officer?
And then there's a mark in front of the word question, and then a dash, and an E and a dash. Correct?
Correct.
And then underneath that, funky tolerance.
Correct.
Underneath that, fishing.
Correct.
And under that, evening blueprint.
Correct.
I think those are his parents.
And underneath that, blueprint Saturday/8.
Correct.
MB,
Sunday.
Sunday.
We have
Sunday
sound.
Sunday. I'm sorry.
Refresh your screen.
And underneath that, looks like dawn.
Somebody has to type to
Correct.
refresh the screen.
With a line through it, correct.
And then the word new with a line through it.
I'll take that as now.
Now.
W.
Okay. And then
Door County.
with a line through it.
Funky's cut up a couple
line through
times.
it, correct.
Not
And
sure
then
why.
underneath that, appropriate verbiage.
Correct.
Directing your attention to State's Exhibit 185.
I will now display States Exhibit 185.
Pretty sure this is also a month calendar or a day calendar. Let's see what we've got. Yep, it's going to be a day. This one is Tuesday the 3rd of November. Daily record of events. Got a few more details on here. Courts. 2.5 acre. We can't straighten this up? Seriously? We're going to have to watch this with our heads tilted. Looks like 2.5 acres. Rotating an image is not that hard, folks. 2.5 acres now, 25 acres equals 1,000 something feet square, 1/5 of a mile each ride, minus 75 M. WisconsinLogHomes.com. $253. Okay.
And now returning to the video.
Back here so you see the whole picture.
Seriously, I hope they straighten it a little bit in the.
Is the photograph you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
Video.
Yes, it is.
Julie took the pictures.
And that's for Tuesday, November 3rd.
Planning a new homestead.
Correct.
Focus, focus, focus.
And the word, is that?
It appears to be court. C-O-U-R-T.
And then 2.5 acre new? Or is that now?
Check to make sure you didn't click the mute button.
2.5 acre now?
Looks like now.
Of course, you wouldn't hear me say that.
25 acres equal.
Possibly Bluetooth, MB. Might have a Bluetooth connection.
Feet square.
One-fifth mile.
You can taste that cough.
Each side.
Correct.
And then a minus sign or a dash and 75 M. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you for all the cough drop lozenge cannons.
And that says Wisconsin loghomes.com.
I'm going to go to that website really quick and see if there's anything interesting. WisconsinLogHomes.com.
It says 253 in the circle.
Guess what? It's still a website. And it looks like there's some pretty high-end custom log homes.
Mr. Cosman or Mr. Jamboys are not in any better position than anyone else to determine what is said, that everybody's going to have to make their own determination.
I think that even in a worse position, I think. I'm in a worse position because everybody's correcting me, so.
Please stop doing
and
it.
the point is a good one. You can see for yourselves what the exhibits say, and it's your job to decide what they mean. And neither the officer nor Mr. Jamboys, nor me, nor anybody else is in a better position than you to determine these things unless
That's a nice chair.
Ultimately they're linked up to something else, and that's shown by evidence. So, any question about that? Okay, thanks.
And I'm sorry, and now I'm directing your attention to States Exhibit 186. And that's another.
So I will now display States Exhibit 186.
See if she can get it. Rotate view. Yeah, she's only doing 90-degree shifts instead of the proper amount. Big questions, big issues. Are you happy? Why choose the funky? Why chase the funky? Is the banter going to work for you? What, how, why? Aspirin over the... Is the banter going to work for you? And Rowley? Or Rolly? Really? Aspirin over the... I'm going to DMB. I'm going to need that one. Aspirin over the something. Can we play Funky Town at this point? Won't you take me to the Funky Town? Yeah, Yeah, I'm not gonna get copyright stricken for anything I try to mimic. Not the singer here. Joe, it will never be on your dash when you get back. Should something weekend. Wilderness Log Homes. So it looks like he's shopping around. Greatwood.com. I'm hoping that's another log home company. Wisconsin Log Homes.
And now resuming the video.
Photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
Monday, November 2nd?
Correct.
And reads big questions / big issues?
Correct.
Are you happy?
Correct.
Why chase the funky?
Correct.
I think that's a code word for him. Why chase the funky?
Is the banter going to work for you? Really?
Correct.
Someone's getting a call in
What?
2008.
Is that what that said?
Yes.
Aspirin over the weekend.
Correct. That is correct.
And then what, how, why? And then Joe, it will be on your desk when you get back.
Or should.
Or should or something?
Should.
Should. I drop off activity. Correct?
Correct.
And then the word cabin, 26 by 24 / 624, correct?
Correct. Looks like 16 by 24. 16 x 24.
16 by 24 BR.
Correct.
COOT P21.
Cost per square foot.
Oh, cost per square foot. See, I'm not very good at this.
This is boring stuff right here.
And then greatwood.com, correct?
Correct.
WildernessLogHomes.com.
Correct.
WisconsinLogHomes.com.
Correct.
New Court Financial.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 187.
I will now display States Exhibit 187.
Stopped it right in the middle of a cough. That was pretty good. I'm crediting WeatherWatch's skill in fixing MB's computer issue to the time he spent owning the internet. Clearly, this is a byproduct of having to fix the internet and everything related to it. So, good work, WeatherWatch. Okay, this is very boring. It doesn't seem relevant. I think they're laying the foundation for what's going to appear at the timeline right around when she died. I do think we've learned a couple things from this. The first is that he doesn't have very many appointments, that there's not a lot going on, or at least that he doesn't record a lot of stuff in his daytimer. But the stuff he does record seemed to be important and possibly coded in some way. And so we'll compare that to what we see right around the time that Julie was being poisoned and dying. And maybe that will give us a little bit of insight into what he was doing. Clearly, he's got some plans for a cabin somewhere, maybe some acreage. He's looking at a couple different sizes, a couple different manufacturers for making the cabin. Not very big, unless those are room sizes. And now we're going to have some painful, this is not worth deciphering, I know.
And now returning to the video.
But they're going to do it. They're going to try anyway.
There's another photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
Can you put that in there at a different attitude? Because otherwise we'll all have stiff necks.
Otherwise what?
We'll all get stiff necks.
Like
Please turn it so we can...
Well,
no.
We'll get them stiff
Oh,
the
my
other
goodness.
Well, Judge, I'm doing my level best here.
Well, level's not the problem. It's the attitude. You need to move it 45 degrees.
She's like, how much is 45?
They're like that.
The other 45.
Very commendable.
Now, let's see.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, this is a photograph that you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you?
That's correct.
And it's November 1998, daily record of events, correct?
Correct.
Troop leader? Was he a scout leader? CCI?
The letter CCI.
Appears to be CCI.
Like CCI mechanical?
And then troop leader.
Correct.
Wonder if that's a scout reference.
Ed test, December 7th.
Correct.
Is that Explorers? Or Explorer?
Julie took like 20 pictures of this day timer, and they're all crooked.
Dash font, F-O-N-T. Times now. Times New Roman.
Times New Roman, there's a font.
So what it appears?
Courier. New.
Correct.
Font.
Font size.
Font something or other. Med.
Medium.
Font size. So that is font size. Okay, font size. Med ME like is MED like as a medium.
This is the computer reference we got going
Then
here.
the word Windows.
That's correct.
Dash 1024 by 768.
It's a resolution. 256 color.
color.
That would be maybe a monitor.
Small font.
Correct.
Do we have a dot pitch in here somewhere?
Withdrawn. Lays on bed. Knees pulled up to chest.
Correct. That is correct.
And then $200 star account. Correct?
That is correct.
The word Kendall.
Correct.
Tom Wright. Return. Is that Tom Wright return?
Correct.
Model number 24, Decorum.
I'm not sure what the number was before that.
Number
Might be
20
211.
No, oh, number 211, okay. DECO.
Decorum.
Okay. Number 562135, Indiana.
Correct.
Direct your attention to State's Exhibit 188.
I will now display 188.
Okay, we've got to be getting closer soon. I'm looking forward very much to the Boone trial. There is so much to after today. Looking forward to a bottle of Boone's Farm. Are his glasses crooked or are mine? Everything is sort of crooked on this screen. Not now, but it was. How do you make antifreeze? You tell her to sleep outside. Or is it antifreeze? Still nothing in the email from California. They're late. I should have some documents from the California Highway Patrol by now. They've had 24 days to get them to me, and I'm not seeing anything. Of course, they might say they need 14 business days, which will mean that gives them an extra week. But nothing from Florida either.
And now returning to the video.
And now, returning to the most boring video on earth.
This is a photograph you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you?
That is correct.
Gonzalo, there's very little on here. There might be a couple things that reference the relationship he has with Julie, like how she puked on the carpet over the week. Yeah, this might be part of it.
That MRK.
I think we're getting closer.
MRK, correct.
Across from there says Tom.
Correct.
Yeah, they won't finish by 5. We have cross-exam.
Puked on carpet.
Still 2.
Over weekend. Can't make out.
Got or into it.
Something or other into it.
Weather.
Into weather.
That's not the whole line. You have to read the whole line.
Toward weather. And Officer Cosman, I'm not going to direct your attention to Exhibit S-188. I guess I better.
We don't know what this is.
And I will now display 188.
We have no idea what this image is because it jumped in time, like they cropped something out. They could have cropped the last 2 hours out, and we wouldn't have missed anything.
Oh, actually, we did see 188. That was the one we just saw.
What number are we on?
So we just saw 188, and I think they are referring to 188 still.
All right. Pull this back out.
Wait for video. Just want to make sure the picture.
And Exhibit S-188 is a photograph that you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
Vicky Tomatos, thank you for becoming
we
an
were
addict,
talking about this
being a
when we
subscriber.
broke,
Welcome.
And, so try to pick up where we left off.
Should I call California? Let you guys listen in.
And that reads, got into it.
You know, the problem is you may have the lens too close. You've got too close of a picture there because it's not clear to me that you're getting the whole line.
Well, we're not getting the whole line. That's why. See, that's why I'm going over like that, Judge. But if I pull it back so you can see the whole line, then you can't read. At least I can't read it. I don't know if the witness can read it. Can you read that from there, Mr. Cosman?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, then, let's do it that way. What does it say?
First word is hard to figure out. Maybe plucked on carpet.
Puked.
Puked on carpet.
Over a weekend. Looks like got into it with her tonight. It cleaned.
Or does it say got into it whether to get it cleaned?
Got into it whether tonight.
With weather.
It looks like tonight. Or
whether to get it cleaned is pretty clear.
Something clean.
So you puked on the carpet, and then you argued with somebody about whether or not to clean
Bloomberg. It looks like dash OBM. Chairs, desk. Appears to say cage and wood panels. 1,000 single, Apparently 3,000 joint.
Then directing your attention to Exhibit 189.
I will display Exhibit 189.
Oh man, this back and forth. I think we've got book as win again. Still on the timeline. I hope we don't have to go day by day all the way through November. Because this is painful. How can we have such amazing moments in this trial and then all this as well? It's basically the same thing. Modular chairs are right return, Bloomberg, chairs, desk, cage, wood panels, Franklin Covey. It looks like we have a 2154 St. Louis address and order number. He placed an order for something. Franklin Covey. He needs a new date timer because it's coming up at the end of the year. Wake up groggy. Okay, so starting at 11, no answer. Finally, and did candidate wake up groggy or something? Not sure. That might be involved.
And now returning to the video.
Yes, the kids did see their mom being poisoned. Not like see her receive the poison, but see the effects of it.
You can see the whole thing. That is, again, is a photograph that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
The trial gods take it away.
That's correct.
And that indicates it's November 1988 daily record of events.
That is correct.
And it's from Thursday, I don't know if you can see that. Thursday the 5th, is that what this says in the upper right-hand corner? Can you read it?
Thursday the 5th.
And can you read what that says?
Looks like EFIL.
And up here on the, over here.
Over there is CCI.
I'm just trying to speed it up. That's all I'm doing. Just trying to advance the video.
It says Tom.
Skip ahead.
Right return module of chairs are...
Micah, these are the notes from Mark Jensen. He's accused of murder, but the notes are being presented at his first murder trial. And because the witness is not available for the second murder trial, we're watching a video of him in the first murder trial, which is being accepted as testimony in the second murder trial. I think I said that all right. And it was painful then, and it's painful now. But they're showing right now the 20 or so pictures that the Mark's wife, Julie, took of Mark's daytimer with things that she thought was suspicious.
And then
Franklin Covey, St. Louis.
And so the officer who received that...
Galleria, 2154.
The officer who received this is deciphering all the notes and reading months' worth of notes in this day planner, which, as far as we can tell, have nothing to do with the murder, or very little to do with it. And he seems like he felt that way all along. As soon as he received them, probably thought this is nothing. This is just normal.
Franklin Covey.
How do you cross-examine this recovery addict?
Franklin something.
I'd basically just draw out. Does this have anything? Is there anything in here that would make you suspicious?
And then,
is there anything you saw that would say that Julie has a reason for concern?
I'm sorry.
But then again, we have to wait and see what happens around the time of her murder in his daytimer. Does he start documenting Antifreeze, Benadryl, anything like that? That seems absurd, but he might do it. If he's
starting at 11,
got a habit of recording things in his daytimer, that may show up.
Correct. No answer.
I was to say called till 1:30. Is that what that is?
You're welcome, Micah.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's
again, it's for the jury to decide.
That is, it is. And underneath, starting at 11, it says no answer.
That's correct.
And finally,
at 7.
Did?
Oh, Border Patrol killer.
It appears to say did.
That was rough.
Couldn't wake up.
We watched paint dry for hours.
That's correct.
I think she died on the 28th. It was like right around Thanksgiving time period, right? Because it was like over the weekend or Monday.
It says 2-page.
After Thanksgiving, I don't remember.
Maybe monthly.
And what does it say underneath that?
We're on the same month, Patricia. This is taking forever.
Back order, Phil 1116.
Let's see, Myra. Your thoughts on my previous 2 messages, please. Let me scroll up and see that.
No.
Somebody just rev their engine right outside my house. Let me find the...
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 190.
Now showing Exhibit 190.
Okay, I'm sorry. Whoa. Whew. That was close. That was close. I got distracted by Myra's comments here. Myra says, to be honest, I think the fact that these photos taken by Julie were so poorly taken could possibly speak to her urgency or nervousness in not getting caught taking them. I think you're right there. Because he had just left and she hurried and did this, I think. And the second one, I truly believe she was in fear for her life, just my humble opinion. Yes, I believe she was. I think she might have been reading things into this that might not be there. Maybe as we get further along, it'll be life is hard, but it's harder if you're stupid. By Klug. He's great quotes by office workers, apparently. We heard from Klug earlier, but he didn't use that quote. I believe she did fear for her life. I'm not sure if what's in this daytimer should add it to that concern or not. This seems like, for the most part, just normal stuff. The photos were developed before her death, I believe. So yeah.
What's the date?
We're not going to have the daytimer.
See it on the
Sorry,
top.
Twisted Branches. I just realized what you're asking. We're not going to have the date around his around the killing, because she wouldn't have been there to take pictures of it and send them in. So basically, that just means this is a waste of time for all of us. Unless the police recovered his daytimer, then we're going to look at those. Is everyone here on Discord? If not, please download the app and come join us on Discord. Yes, that's the Discord link. Do it for sure. Plucked on carpet. I mean, puked.
And now resuming the video.
New brand name.
Again, is that a photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
Okay, we might be coming to something a little bit more important. Katrina, if you watch this in the future, watch it at high speed. You'll thank me later.
Looks like EFIIMRK.
And this was from Tuesday, November 10th?
That's correct.
And then reads that?
Looks like 12M.
And then it reads...
It's corn.
Life, can you read it?
Yeah, I know
Life
what you're
is
talking
hard,
about.
but it's harder if you're stupid.
I see that becoming a merchandise shirt. Life is hard, but it's harder if you're stupid.
And then what does that read?
14262.
Maybe a hat or a shirt.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
Looks like 14262-2. Willow Bend Park, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017. And a symbol of a money sign, looks like Dan/Missy.
Thanks, Tag. I'll look for that.
Underneath that?
Time I Can Waste, Denver.
St. John's Wort.
St. John, maybe?
St. John's Wort?
Which is a herbal thing.
Hockey, December, Tuesday 8th, and every Saturday night.
Yes, Klug testified earlier. He was the one who drank so much, and says they had that interesting conversation with Mark.
Big Cedar?
And then called his wife about it from the hotel.
Can't make out the last word.
you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Those are good sayings.
It's a big cedar.
We're in November, or almost to the middle of November.
Could possibly say big cedar.
I'm thinking it's about the time, about the end of this.
And then directing your attention to States Exhibit 191.
Now displaying States Exhibit 191.
Now displaying States Exhibit 191. I think this one's good. It is. This is November we're looking at, but you realize she took the pictures, and this was prior to her death, so it can't go all the way through November. Eventually, she's going to stop here. She was grasping at straws to gather as much as she could without really knowing what. She was hoping there would be something here. So sad. Yeah, I think she did have reason to fear. I'm not saying that she was insane and, jumping at shadows type thing. We went from Bobcat morning to Snail afternoon. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind ride, for sure. We need that merch. Life is hard, but it's harder if you're stupid. Clug. Complete with the wrong your. Yes, you're right. It had a problem grammatically. I don't know. I've learned from some other YouTubers that if you produce merchandise that has a grammatical error in it, you get corrected on it constantly, and people don't get the joke. You guys should all know that that's like a quote from Clug.
It is.
It's from November 16th, or Monday, November 16th, correct?
That is correct.
See what those three letters are?
MT, I believe it would be G.
Meeting.
And 20, excuse me, the 20 is circled. Withdrawn kids, boat, and...
Chalensky?
Correct.
What does that
Locked
read?
chest.
What does that read? Locked chest?
Why don't you just read it?
Does that read locked chest?
It's possible.
And crying about?
Crying about miscarriage or miscarriage.
Put that last one up. Crying about
miscarriage. It's a miscarriage, as in...
Well, whatever it is, the jury will decide.
Okay.
If they need to. Directing your attention
Ivan.
to States Exhibit 192.
Thanks for being here. Hope everything goes well at the store.
Now displaying States Exhibit 192.
So far, all of these have been no problem, but I'm just worried that the one time I don't switch off the screen, she's going to just put up the next picture they found out, by the front door one morning. Let's see. Jenny, this has been a really slow day, as we've spent hours looking at a day timer, which was barely used. Was she pregnant? She's had 2 kids. She may have been, I don't think she was pregnant at the time she died. So I haven't heard anything about the miscarriage. That definitely, that's not something to fault her for, crying about a miscarriage. That would be normal behavior. Too much to do. Meal, cruise, jobs quit, crying about miscarriage, suddenly detached. I have to move over here. Itinerary for week. Something room when I got home. Check, get something on MCK. Dave Isbell. It's funny, I know a Dave Isbell. Maybe that was his number.
And now returning to the video.
This is another photograph obtained from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And looking up there, it's kind of, you see the 1 and part of another number, and it's the 321st day, correct?
Correct.
And that's November 1998.
Life is hard, but it's harder for RA, who's doing an amazing job multitasking, reading comments, responding, protecting his channel from nonsense. Thank you so much. _pickles : _pickles : _pickles.
Thank you so much, Myra. I appreciate the super chat, and
And then underneath that.
I am trying to protect the channel a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worse to. Should I protect it from boredom or protect it from the
Could be
all the pictures that we don't want on here? Oh man, good times. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your support of the channel, Myra.
Correct.
8:50.
Correct.
Too much to do.
Correct.
What was it reading in there?
Say meal.
And underneath that.
Cruise.
Underneath that.
Job / quit. Crying about miscarriage. Suddenly.
Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate you.
Detached.
Apparently. Itinerary for.
I think it's doing random
Believe it's a
voices,
week.
Little Miss. I really think it is. We just happened to match up with currency originally.
Is that locked in
room?
Locked in room when I got home.
Home.
Okay, so that might have something to do with her.
Dave. Isabel.
And then a telephone number. Oh, let's see.
There was some, yeah.
Can you read what that says?
Check. Maybe get on MCK.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 193.
Now displaying States Exhibit 193.
Going through line by line on this day timer. This is why it's a 5-week trial. Susan Schneider. Oh man, Optimum's calling. Nice.
And returning to the video.
We are calling with important information about tomorrow's service appointment. Para continuar en español, presione dos.
Is that a photograph that you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
You recognize that?
Susan Schneider, 652-1121.
Do you now or know, or did you ever know who Susan Schneider is or was?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who Susan Schneider is?
No, I do not.
Never heard of her?
Never have.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 194.
Okay, they're going to fix the weather.
Now I
No,
will be
they're not going
displaying
to fix the weather. They're going to fix the
194.
internet tomorrow. Oh man. Sorry, that was risky. Okay, so I think this is going to be the last of the pictures, and I will tell you this because that little ruler you see, that plastic ruler, that is the marker for the current day. You take that out every day and you move it over to the next page, and it allows you, like, it's a quick bookmark to open up the day timer to your current time. It's really nifty that way, and it looks like it also has some. That might be the source of the red ink as well. So it was probably used as a ruler on top of some wet ink somewhere, and then as he clips it to different pages, it's transferred it to his day timer. Okay, so this is good news. I think we're about done. That was Optimum, by the way, on the phone. Matthew Harris was saying they've got an appointment to come fix my internet tomorrow afternoon So hopefully we'll be good to go. I may even start streaming on multiple platforms if the internet gets fixed and is much better than it is right now. We'll also bump up the quality of the feed a lot higher than it is right now. Put out a true 1080p, 60 frames per minute.
And there's another photograph recovered from the film
Callie.
provided to you by Julie Jensen. Is that true?
That was dangerous. I should not do that.
The date is the 23rd of November, correct?
Correct.
CG, I don't remember the day she died, but I think this is the last day she's going to take pictures of the planner. There might be a couple more on future pages, but this is basically, I think it was this day when she took the picture. November 23rd is when these photos were taken.
Can you read what that says?
Emory/St. Louis.
There's still an hour left in this video.
Looks like E-M-E-R-Y.
So it looks like a Y.
It appears to be a Y.
And then underneath that?
Cheras/
This officer's like, I write tickets, I arrest people. Why am I reading someone's daytimer?
Barb E. Fuller.
She died the 3rd of December. Thank you very much, Patricia, Eileen, DMB, Twisted Branches.
Can you read that?
All of you who answer with that information.
D-Y-B-L-E, possibly.
Can you read that?
Program information. Brandt /
Jenny says she's going to put a thumbnail up for her picture instead of the J.
Appears to say reinvest.
I can't wait to see what it is. We will watch with bated breath. It will be more interesting than whatever we're watching here on this court. So Jenny, let us know as soon as you got it updated. We'll take a look at that. But if you change your name, you'll have to let us know that you're still Jenny. T-Rox is going to have to bounce. Cheers, Mod Squad. You're wonderful. Chat, aka Pickle Posse. Love that as well. T-Rox, thanks for being here. Sorry, it's been a boring day. Hopefully it'll get a little better in the future. We'll have Sarah Boone next week for sure, so that's going to be fun.
1313.
Everybody's falling asleep. I'm glad I could help you guys sleep, but I think it wasn't my voice this time. I think it was this court. What is this picture you speak about? Just came back. Kevin,
Exhibit 195.
if you look on the screen right next to me, right here.
Now displaying States Exhibit 195.
Let's see, right here. See that right there? Boom, boom, boom. That's your icon. That's your image. You can update that with an actual picture. So that, say, like if you look at Red Pen here, Red Pen has. I'm not sure if it's a he or she. Has an image there, and you can update that. Jenny says she's going to update hers, which we're excited to see what it becomes because it's more interesting than anything we've seen here in this court. Century Securities, check on A&E Insurance, life insurance, apps, all details, program into RON, GPS, box, cold. I ate dinner, sneezing, eyes running, drowsy. Something, stay awake. Barb Frower in Bus IA, BISIF. Phone numbers, some various other little numbers. Doesn't mean much. Red Pen's a self-portrait. Looks great.
And now returning to the video.
Oh, no, it's just her profile picture is the only thing we're talking about. It's that slow of a case.
Is that a photograph that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
DH to the JD.
And that appears to be from...
This police officer died in 2018. Correct. This is why we're watching the video. Thank you for this. I knew one of them had passed away. Is that the number to the burner phone?
Star sign with...
It may be an old number, old burner.
It's either 5 or S.
And underneath that?
And beneath that appears to be B.
Jensen's looking at this like, oh crap, I forgot. I wonder if he knows what all this means.
Securities. Check on A and E.
Look at that.
Is that insurance?
Unsubstantiated?
Jenny has a picture.
Underneath that
Before
is
it said,
apps.
before it was just a J. See, this is what we had
All
before
details.
compared to
Program into
now. Awesome, Jenny. Thanks for changing that. So we can. I assume that's you.
to run.
Thanks. We get to know you a little bit better. You passed the test.
I ate dinner.
He died because of
season,
reading this
eyes
planner.
running, drowsy,
Shortly after reading this, probably.
Can hardly stay awake. And the word Barb.
Can hardly stay awake. That's all of
The letters
us.
inside the box are FORRER, BUS, maybe INT, International. Outside of that is the number is 1902. Underneath Barb would be 414-906-3227. And it would be what appears to be 4495-9219.
And directing your attention, now finding the last photograph.
Jenny, you are welcome here.
S196.
Now displaying States Exhibit 196.
Hopefully here we're done here soon. He uses a planner different than we use it here. Yeah, I don't think he took the course. I'm not sure. Didn't Stephen Covey make some courses on day planners? I think the two were connected at one point. And the course, it really went into detail. It really pushed this as far as an efficiency type thing. And, you know, it's both a journal and everything. But I don't think he's using it that way. It was probably just provided to him by his work. And he just used it as he would a regular.
And is S186 a photograph that you obtained from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
At least this one will be quick.
And it indicates that it's a Thursday and the 323rd day?
Correct.
Can you read that up there?
323rd day. It'd be HD with a star GPS WMT. Inside the circle is 8-9 next Friday.
I think this is the cross exam probably
Brett?
will not have quite so much of trying to read the notes. Brett Nader, not serious one.
Not serious one. Brett.
Jenny says, I don't have any family, so nice.
Nate?
So this is nice. Well, Jenny, we will be your extended family.
Wait.
Virtual
I'm not
hugs
sure
to
what
you.
that word would
Good
be.
to have you here.
Well, the first word is Brett.
That is correct, BRTT.
And then is that Nate?
Looks like N8.
And then,
And serious one?
okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Your Honor, I guess counsel has proposed that I clarify something, and this is a smaller version. This is a 4x6 photograph of this, and it looks like this S196 is an 8x10 blow-up of 196 marked here, and the 4x6 actually.
So I'm now going to display States Exhibit 196A.
We're going to do this. I'm not sure what she's talking about. So we're going to back up just a wee bit. I think it's, we're good. It's a book.
And returning to the video.
Same picture.
Is more complete. You can see there's a portion of it cut off. It's the 19th, Thursday the 19th.
That is correct.
And as you can see by looking at this, that portion, the outside portion is cut off.
All right.
Should we have this marked as an exhibit?
Make it give the same exhibit.
Weatherwatch just sent us a something on the burner phone. I'm going to turn this down here while it's like super boring. He has this. He's getting ready for the Boone trial, where we have a Boone bingo card that shows all the things we're going to be watching for. Suitcase, wine, not on purpose, objection, overrated. Let's see here. I need to switch my screen so I can see this. Bingo, baseball bat, stairs, fell asleep, hide and seek, attorney issues, cell phone video, abusive, ex-husband, child's tablet, interrogation. Yeah, I think we'll get a blackout by the end of that trial. So that would be fun to play along with. We might have to do that. Let's go back to. Oops, not that. There we go.
First of all, Your Honor, I've moved those exhibits into evidence. Let me give you the numbers. I don't recall if I'd moved them into evidence before, but I think it's S-173 through S-196.
Hey, Vix, I apologize.
Was it 196A? Was that? I moved that one into evidence as well. But
if you had an earlier comment, I did not see it. I do have trouble catching all the comments as my screen updates in bulk.
It's in this stack here. By sleight of hand, I've misplaced that exhibit, so let me see if I can find it here. Yeah,
our girl speaks from the grave even today. Love you, girl. Be at peace. I apologize. I did not try to miss that.
So maybe it should be 196. I don't know.
I think that should be 196.
Should be 196A. Yes. Let me just change this 7 to a 9. Thank you. So with that, Your Honor, I move those exhibits into evidence.
No objection.
They'll be received.
Let's see.
No further questions.
Is that Mark or his attorney that just got up and was walking around the courtroom? I think it's his attorney. Okay, here comes the cross. And he's got the whiteboard, apparently. Easel time. Maybe we're going to play Pictionary. 3 words. First word rhymes with.
Oh, Mr. Cosmo, I put on the easel a calendar from November, December 1998. Are you able to see that?
Yes, I am.
It was November 24th.
I think that makes sense. Thanks, Vix. I appreciate that. And thanks for the watch as well.
Julie Jensen in person?
That is correct.
And she passed away on December 3rd, about 9 days later, correct?
Correct.
Thanksgiving Day was November 26th.
I believe it would have been, yes.
And it was the previous weekend you were deer hunting?
That is correct.
While you were gone, Julie Jensen left you a voicemail.
2 voicemails.
Did you keep those voicemails, Officer Cosman?
No, I did not.
I presume there was a time and date stamp or notation when she left those voicemails?
Yes.
Did you note the time and date that she left those voicemails?
No, I did not.
after her death, did you make any effort to recover those voicemails?
At that point, they were irretrievable.
Did you talk to somebody to find out if they were irretrievable?
I talked to our chief, and he thought it was impossible to retrieve them.
And that's all the further you followed up?
Yes.
Did you try to talk to somebody who operates your phone system at all?
No, I did not.
When did you delete those voicemails?
Right after hearing them?
It would have been after I had talked to Julie Jensen in person. It would have been either maybe later the 24th or possibly the 25th.
But after you met with her, then you erased these voicemails?
I'm sorry?
After you met with her, then you erased these voicemails?
That is correct.
Officer Cosman, you prepared a report regarding your meeting with Julie Jensen on November 24th?
I did write a report, yes.
And regarding the voicemails that she had left you, correct?
I made mention in there, yes, I did.
You prepared your report within a day or two of seeing her on November 24th, correct?
That is correct.
I take it that when you prepare police reports, you try to make them as accurate and complete as possible?
That is correct.
And that's what you did regarding the voicemails that you had heard and the contact that you had with Julie Jensen on November 24th, correct?
They could have been more clarified in my report.
I think this officer didn't believe her. Our audio's way
You
off.
testified that she left you 2 voicemails, right?
That's correct.
Now, when you wrote your first report within a day or two of that contact with her on November 24th, you only indicated that she had left you 1 voicemail, is that right?
I thought I put 2 down.
Did those seem like unusual items to be on a shopping list to you?
No.
Did you know the neighbors, the Voights?
No, I did not.
Trying to get this lined
Have
up
you ever
here.
met them before?
No, I have not.
You had been at the Jensen home dozens of times?
I'm getting it worse and worse.
You would
Oh, man.
stop by the Jensen home 10 times a year just as a friend, right?
Basically to check on 2 things, basically. If any problems had been starting up again, and just to let her know that we were in the area, that we're still trying to keep an extra eye on the house for this individual who may have been leaving
I'll fix the audio stick here in just a second. I was going the wrong
photographs and so
direction.
forth around the house.
Would you disagree with the following statement that it could have been 10 times a year that you'd stop and see her socially?
I don't think it would have been that many.
Do you recall testifying on August 30th, 2007 in this case?
What was the date again?
August 30th, 2007? Do you recall testifying in the Kenosha County Courthouse in late August?
It was late August. I think it may have been the 25th or something
There we go.
along that lines. I know it was late August.
I'm about to be at page 96, line 20. Let's see, let me start it. Line 5. Question, how many times did you stop to talk to her socially? Answer, I'd have to give you an estimate, probably maybe 7 to 10 times, maybe more. Question, let's do it this way. How many times a year do you think you did that? Answer, I'm sorry. Question, how many times a year do you think you did that you stopped and talked to Mrs. Jensen socially? Answer, basically whenever I would see her outside. Question, and so that would be 3 or 4 times a year? Answer, may have been more, may have been less, I don't recall. Question, it could have been 10 times a year that you'd stop and see her socially? It's possible.
It's very possible. I do not recall the number of times that I stopped socially. There were no reports generated for that.
But you made frequent social contacts with Mrs. Jensen, right?
Your Honor, I object under the doctrine of completeness. I would direct the court and counsel's attention to
doctrine of completeness expands what's being admitted. Basically saying there's more information other than the excerpt they're taking. We want all the information.
5.
Cross-exam now.
17.
What's the date?
What counsel was it? August 30th. What's the? I don't have the.
August 30th.
August 30th.
Yes, the rule of optional
Page 95.
completeness is why we watched the whole 12-disc set of the interviews in the Border Patrol
Line 11.
killer case.
I don't have that transcript.
Well, I'll show you the portion that I want.
From line 11?
Page 95, line 11.
Katrina, you have to wonder if she knew, because she kept telling him, like almost like she didn't want it to be him.
And you read down through the top of the page 96?
AJ, you torment me with these awful jokes. Some of them are good, though.
I want to read from, oh, you don't have an objection? Did you still want to read it then, Judge?
Well, no, if there's no objection, go ahead.
From line 17.
From line 11. I want from line 11, page 95, through line 8, page 96. And I will give that to the court then.
Page 95 through 96. That's not as bad as like page 15 through 96. Go
ahead.
Matthew Harris, can you explain the law, the rule of optional
You're
completeness?
allowing that to be read then?
I thought it was agreed.
No.
What I thought, Judge, is that from line 17 makes sense. Line 11, given his answer, and then it's mostly just my question, I don't think that makes sense. Line 17, I think, is appropriate.
Well, I have to agree with Mr. Albee.
Thank you.
Officer Cosman, beginning on page 95, line 17, question, okay, do you recall, before I come back to that, Officer Cosman, did you document with your department every contact you had with Mrs. Jensen? Answer, no, I did not. Question, why not? Answer, because like I said, some were more of a social nature, where I would see her around in the yard. Hadn't heard from her, I would stop for 2 reasons. First reason being to see if things had quieted down, if there were any problems, and secondly, and most importantly, to let her know that we were still keeping an extra eye on her home. Question, how many times did you, well, that's what I read before.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And so if you'd see her outside, you'd stop, correct?
Not every time, but quite a bit.
And this could be as much as 10 times a year.
Again, I don't recall.
But it could be.
It could be more, it could be less.
Okay.
Barb, this is the first trial, but it's being admitted as evidence in the second trial.
Contact with her neighbors, the voice.
Not that I recall, no.
Did you go talk to the neighbors to find out what they knew?
No, I did not.
And is it fair to say
Neighbors knew
during
everything.
this conversation that you had with Mrs. Jensen on November 24th that you asked her numerous times to leave?
Yes. I advised her that if she was fearful for her safety or for the children's safety, then she should leave.
Well, you asked her numerous times to leave, right?
I asked her about 2 or 3 times. Or I made the mention that she should about 2 or 3 times.
Do you recall testifying at a preliminary hearing in this case back in 2002, Officer Cosman?
Yes, I do.
And did you give the following answer to the following question, page 45, line 13? Question, did you ask her whether she was going to leave or why she wouldn't leave? Answer, I asked her numerous times during the course of our conversation to leave. I told her I couldn't force her to do so, but if she felt I couldn't force her to do, I think there's just a comma error, so I'm sorry. I told her I couldn't force her to do so, but if she felt threatened or felt that Mark was trying to harm her in any way, shape, or form for the sake of her kids, of herself and her kids, to leave. Did you give that answer?
Yes, I did.
And it was numerous times during the course of your conversation that you asked her to leave, correct?
Correct.
And things were a lot fresher in your mind at the time you gave this testimony at the preliminary hearing, correct?
It should, yes.
You did not talk about your contact with Mrs. Jensen with Mark Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
During your conversation with Mrs. Jensen, you did not suggest installing any video or surveillance equipment on November 24th, correct?
No, I did not.
So if a neighbor reports that she had told him that you had made that suggestion, either Mrs. Jensen misreported that or the neighbor has it wrong. Is that fair to say?
So Barb, this is a good question. If he's found guilty in this retrial, whatever sentence he's currently serving disappears and he starts serving the new sentence. It's possible that if it's a short duration, he may get credit for time served. But yes, so he will whatever sentence he's serving right now, that sentence will be vacated and he will serve this new one instead. If it's also life in prison without parole, there's very little difference, I think.
There weren't any other photographs, correct?
Just those.
There weren't any photographs of any computer screens, correct?
Not that I recall.
Do juries like it when they try to impeach policemen?
Right? Not that I saw.
And you understand
I guess it depends on the jury and depends on the policeman.
Set of photographs, right?
As far as I know, yes.
I think there are witnesses that the juries will
right after you receive those
will like or not like just by their mannerisms. They might also have certain things similar to them, like they might have similar backgrounds. You might have a jury members that can relate to someone for a certain reason. Because of that, they might either like or not like the way they're treated. But if the jury doesn't like the person, then they'll probably root for the impeachment.
Are you aware of doing that?
No,
I don't think they have anything against policemen
that's correct.
themselves. I think those people would probably be weeded out during the
If a neighbor says
jury
that he
selection
saw
process.
you over at the house, he would be mistaken?
Yes. The only time that I was there was when I went and talked to her the first time, or the only time.
Did you ever get on November 24th or any time between November 24th and Mrs. Jensen's death, did you ever get angry with her?
No.
Hey,
Did
Jenny,
you ever get loud with her?
Mark is
Between
using
that time frame?
Right.
No.
Mark is using this
Did you ever
public
yell at
defender.
her?
And that sort of
Did you
rotates
ever
through. So the
imply that
public
she-
defender he had initially is probably still not on the public defender
It had been
rotation.
a couple years earlier,
So he gets a
she had
different one.
made the complaint that Mark wanted her to drink, correct?
Some wine, correct.
But that was in like 1996, right?
95, 96, 97, somewhere in there.
She explained that she did not want to drink because there was a family history of alcoholism, correct?
She advised me that her mother was an alcoholic.
Did Julie Jensen ever tell you about receiving counseling for depression?
No, she did not.
At no time during the course of the years that you knew her, did she ever mention having depression issues?
No.
Or having any treatment for depression issues?
No.
Or having previously been prescribed medication for depression?
No.
You had had contacts with Mr. Jensen perhaps a dozen times over the previous years?
That I did?
Yes.
It could have been. I don't recall exactly how many contacts I have with Mr. Jensen.
With Mr. Jensen?
Mr. Jensen.
Do you have an estimate of how many times you had contacts with Mr. Jensen?
I'm sorry?
Do you have an estimate as to how many times you had encounters with Mr. Jensen?
Maybe 6 to 12.
And there wasn't one occasion among those 6 to 12 times that you had contact with him in which he got angry, right?
Upset once, and that was basically because of some photographs that he had found.
He was upset about what somebody had done to their household, right?
About leaving the photographs, correct.
You never saw him angry with Mrs. Jensen?
No, I did not.
He never expressed any anger toward Mrs. Jensen for
They choose public defenders because they can't afford to pay or don't want to pay for their own lawyer. If they don't want to and can't afford to, then they get a public defender. They're entitled to have a defender.
Mrs. Jensen never reported any physical violence in the
so,
household, correct?
Generally, people who can afford lawyers
not
pay
to
for
me.
them.
And as far as I know, not to anyone else.
You're not aware of her making any such report to any police officer in your department at any time, correct?
I'm not aware of any, no.
Officer Cosman, over the years, there were a number of occasions in which you were at the house, the Jensen house, right?
That's correct.
Those contacts dealt sometimes with harassment, right?
Harassment.
Sometimes with the social contacts you talked about, correct?
Correct.
And sometimes about sort of just general complaints about vandalism?
Correct.
We lost a picture here for a second.
Judge, at this point, there's 2 question and answers that are missing from the video. So by agreement, I am going to read those into the record.
I'm going to ask you one more. How longer is this video?
Can we take a break
So
or
this
go
video
home?
has 48 minutes remaining.
We're not going to make it.
Thank you, Judge.
I think we've done enough this week. I really do. These are not easy to watch.
No.
I'm not criticizing anybody. So, folks, enjoy your weekend. See you Tuesday at 8:30. Leave your
Judge.
notes back here.
Oh, my
Joe,
goodness.
you want to just hold them for a little bit?
The judge is, this is what he's thinking.
I'm not a camel.
Yeah. So we have 48 minutes of this next week, but we also have
YouTube.
Sarah Boone next week, a preliminary pretrial. I like this judge more and more right now.
I'm not a cat.
No, I don't have these sound effects turned on yet. Manually triggering those. Thank you, Judge. Holy cow. That was a long week. 3 days of this.
Close the door.
Close the door.
All right, I'm holding the jury so we can take the defendant. He doesn't have to wait.
Judge, real quick, we did have an agreement. We spoke to the prosecutors yesterday about one of our experts has to testify on the 27th because of January because of some family issues. So if it gets to that date and the defense is not on, there's an agreement to take her out of order.
So they're going to let you take your witness out of order?
Yes.
Just remind me. That's fine. Okay.
We've seen that before. It's
Take the
sort of
defendant
weird
back so the jury
to
can be
switch from
released.
prosecution to defense in the middle of the trial and then back again. Are we done? We're not gonna make it. No, We ain't gonna make it. What will we do all weekend? Hopefully enjoy good weather. I know a lot of us have had some pretty crappy weather. I'm not blaming you, Weather Watch. I'm just saying that we've dealt with a lot of poor weather forecasts. So hopefully somebody has some good weather. Dries up maybe a little bit in California if that's on the books for them. I'd like a little more warmth. Yay, cat, says Cat Law.
I'm not a cat.
Samantha Terry, you're my new favorite addict. What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. That is a good one. That is good. So Mark's going back for the weekend to the big house. If we get a hung jury, do we get another retrial? Yeah, if the state wants to do it. I mean, the state could just say, never mind, and then the appeals court would say you have to release him then. The appeals court ruling would stand. Michelle, I meant despite the letter was not entered into the second trial. Let's see what you said before. I think they're about done here. I think so. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. We've got the audio still going from the courtroom. As soon as Judge Durrell starts, you'll know that that the video stopped, because that's what happens. I don't know what you were talking about, Michelle. Let's see. The defendant in the video biting his finger. Do you think this nerves or Mark knows he killed his wife? Oh, that was the old one. I have a hard time. I do miss. I'm not intentionally trying to miss anything, but I do miss a lot of comments. Let's see. He can get more than one retrial. Yes, he can. That's in 2 weeks. They do have. They've blocked out 5 weeks for this trial. It's a long trial. Let's see. Coffee Mom. Not quite sure. She fell asleep on the keyboard, maybe? Is that what she's trying to let us know? That is a good soundbite. Monday recovery stream. It's a holiday. We maybe. Let's see. Did I get anything? I put in my request for Sarah Boone, and I actually did call. If you guys didn't know, I put in a request because Sarah Boone has publicly documented that she wrote a letter to the governor. Well, guess what? Writing the letter to the governor is one way to get your letter input into the public record. And the governor being the custodian of those documents, I did contact the governor's office and filed a public records request for that document. But they have so many requests that mine has not been worked yet. They have requests for a million things. He just got reelected, Governor DeSantis. So there's a ton of things he's already working on, and he already has tons of requests. So they're working their way to mine. I did call and talk to the office. I think I talked to, I forget the girl's name now, in the office. She verified that she had the request, that it was in the queue, that they're working on it, but she just couldn't say when. So we're waiting for that. Hopefully it's soon. Let's see, anything real good in today's testimony other than the picture, Maureen? No, there was nothing really good in the testimony today, unfortunately. Cat on keyboard, sorry. It happens, Coffee Mom, no problem. While this woman has been dead for some time, I do hope this judge gives a little thought to his mummy. We can all watch weather, just saying. We're a chatty group. Yeah, we've got about 200 of us in here for sure. Our Aunt Bella says, I've been gone all day. Are you really live? No, Bella, this is a taped video from hours and hours ago. Just kidding. Let's see. Perpetual retrial. It's ridiculous. Yep. Okay, so a couple things we want to say. First of all, do join Discord if you haven't. If you want any true crime information, Discord is the place to get it. They've done a great job over there, and appreciate them welcoming us there. If you ever need the link, first download the app and then click on the link. You can find the link by just typing the ! Discord in the chat, and that will show up. There's our audio.
Gonna wait to the hospital, so I dropped 2 of my children off so they didn't have to sit at the hospital.
Oh, and it's right here. There we go. Let's see. Monday's a holiday. Yes, it is. So we have the burner phone. You can reach out to me on the burner phone over the weekend if you have anything come up, especially if you see like a police chase or something that you think we should pop online and share with everybody. We like to follow those live when they happen. Any news on the dog bites wrong guy incident? No. What we have, they're overdue. By law, they had to give me the information by today. The last thing I got from the California Highway Patrol is that they were exercising their right to take an extra 14 days, which ended today. Now, granted, they're a few hours behind us, so maybe they'll come through right at the end of the day. But right now, I've got nothing from them, so I'll be giving Justin a call. He's my FOIA request representative there, who's making sure the wheels of justice keep turning on for me. I'm downloading Discord. Wonderful. There's the burner phone number that will get to me. I've got a few of you I need to respond to. Let's see. If you do want to send something to me, it will go to the post office. We got a P.O. Box 775 in Aden, North Carolina. That will get to me. So far, no mail. But I do believe the post office will figure out how to put the mail in the box soon, and I'll get it then. Bye, everyone. See you, Little Miss. Thanks for being here. Looker to liker ratio is 2.42. I blame it on the old video. It was some painful video. My eyes are just protesting right now. Will you be streaming Monday? Sunshine, I wasn't going to because it's a trial, because all the courts are going to be in recess for the holiday. Probably wasn't going to, but if something comes up over the weekend, if we have a good police chase or something like that, I will. I'm going to be home. I mean, this is my job, so I'm not going to be anywhere else. So there's a chance. I'm just not planning to right now. I'll probably take it as a family day and try to do something family related. Although I'm home with my family all day, I do miss them because I'm in here and they're out there. Y'all addicts are the best. AJ, thanks for all the jokes. You did make me cringe a few times, but it was better than watching that video. Bye, Scott and fam. Have a great weekend. Catch everyone on Tuesday. Yes, thank you. We'll do that. Let me start the music here. Good night, everybody. Thank you. A big shout out to all the people who have gifted memberships and made so many of you turn green in chat. Thank you very much. I very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the support of the channel. Those that have sent super chats, super stickers, everything. Those who just show up in chat every day, even if you're lurking, any chat you send, it's great. If you like the channel, that means a lot to me. Sharing it, that means a ton to me. That does a ton to get new people in here as well. Big thanks to the mods who just keep this a happy, chill place. Weatherwatch comes in right at the end. Gifts another membership. Let's see who gets it right at the last part of the day. It looks like Terry Korhaniak. Terry got it. Congratulations. Thank you, Weatherwatch. Appreciate that. Yes, I said thank you to the mods. Thank you to all of you, amazing subscribers that have brought this channel to this point in just a couple short months. We're going upward from here. Thanks for your patience and everything. I think that's it. When you go home tonight, please give those people you love a hug. Smile at somebody, make their day just a little bit better, and be safe over the weekend. Until Tuesday morning when we have Sarah Boone. That's going to be one you do not want to miss. Put it on your calendar, just like Mark Jensen did. Write it in your day planner. It'll be awesome. We're going to be back for that, and it'll be wonderful. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to try to turn everything off here. There we go. All right. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. See ya.
I'm not a camel.